Somber atmosphere surrounds the Field of Champions. Hello, everyone. I'm Austin Bivens, welcoming you to this week number 3 of the Arkansas High School football season, in a week that games almost didn't take place for obvious reasons because of things that's happened around the nation. We bring in now Mike Morgan and Michael. Bombings in New York, Washington. Professional, even collegiate sports, many have been postponed. The AAA decided to allow these games to go forward.
Well, and many high school games across the country are taking place, and I think that's a very positive thing, Austin. I think many American institutions want to show some resolve and show that they're not going to affect our way of life, and really want to show the character of these young students out here on the football field.
Well, and some of those young students for Shiloh Christian almost didn't even make it to tonight's game regardless of the AAA ruling, due to Shiloh Christian, of course, Michael, playing that game Monday just 4 days ago. So before tonight's game, actually even before Monday night's matchup, I caught up with head coach Chris Wood and asked him how difficult it would be for his Saints to rebound on 3 days of rest. This is what he had to say.
You know, it's a tremendous effort for us, but it always goes back to the philosophy. We tell these kids, we'll play anybody, any given day, anytime, anywhere. And this is an example of one of them. We're playing on Monday night. We're going to turn around and play on Friday. The biggest key for us is to get rest in these kids' bodies after that Monday night game. But we've got to get our kids rested and ready to go for Friday night.
Single coverage, going up for it, complete is Schisler. Yard down, but these three Saints are not out, at least completely out of tonight's game. Scotty Shepard, he went out Monday night, midway in the third quarter, dehydrated. They had to give him 2 IV bags, and then the shoulder bug hit Shiloh Christian. Mike Sellers went out with a bruised shoulder. He did play spottingly in the fourth quarter, and then the big one that kind of glares out at you is Rhett Lashley. Didn't take a snap in the whole second half back in Monday's game. He will play tonight. We have that listed on the graphic, but Michael, not on the offensive side, sorted out for us.
You're going to see very little Rhett Lashley tonight, Austin. They may be banged up, 3 days rest, but they're playing a very tough Pulaski Academy team, ranked in the Hootens as number 6 team overall at the 3A level. They're going to need to put the team together. The focus is going to be on team tonight. They're going to have to pick each other up to get through this one.
And, Michael, they go from one team that liked to pass in the Springdale Bulldogs to a team that has done it extremely well those first 2 weeks.
Well, that's right, and they're going to play a spread offense here. And, of course, we know Thomas Thrash, he threw for over 2,700 yards last year, 42 touchdowns. He can really light it up, and he is a fiery football player. They say he's the first one there to practice and the last one to leave, and he's got some good receivers out there. Quentin Jones is probably going to be his #1 target. Quentin Jones had almost 1,000 yards in receptions and 19 touchdowns last year.
And, Michael, probably the biggest question that surrounds Shiloh Christian fans out there is the Saints haven't lost a regular season game in 41 tries. Back even since we started doing a telecast, that's their first regular season loss last Monday. How will they respond? I guess that's the $200 million question.
Well, that's right, Austin. Of course, they lost the last game last year, tied the first one, lost the second one. You know, they're going to have to set their own tone, set their own character. This is a new ball club, a new coaching staff. These kids are finding their way, but there's a lot of character on this team as well. Look for them to pull it all together tonight and play solid football.
And, Michael, indeed, you should be able to tell folks back there in Family 45 land, within the first couple of 3 series, the attitude, atmosphere of these Shiloh Christian Saints following Monday night's defeat. When we come back, it's week number 3. Again, Shiloh Christian and the Bruins of Pulaski Academy, 2 ranked teams again. They love to air it out, and you've got a front row seat on Family 45 kickoff after this.
Regular season winning streak broken last week, of course. And once again, they've got a new coach, and they're going to find their own character.
We welcome those of you on Family 45 joining us back. And, Michael, once again, we've got the hookup as well via the World Wide Web at ShilohSaints.org. And, of course, Kevin at Master Control and with 92.1 KKEG. Folks, we're getting set to go. Week number 3 of Arkansas High School football. Thanks for joining us here at the Field of Champions. J.D. Weathers getting set to go. Little short pop kick, pooch kick, no one's there. It bounds at the 25. It's going to hit, and it's going to be Jones picking it up, and he grabbed a knee, and the officials will blow it dead around the 27-yard line of PA. Michael, last year down at Little Rock, Shiloh Christian's first 2 kickoffs were onside kicks. The Saints recovered those, and ironically, that was 2 of 9 turnovers the Bruins submitted to Shiloh last year.
Well, that's right, played a big part in the game, as turnovers will in any game, Austin. And also looks like we've got a bit of an injury here as time is called out on the field.
We'll wait and...
Looks like possibly Andrew Carter is hurt.
Michael, Andrew Carter indeed. You call it? I believe that's correct. So injuries have begun to pop up on Shiloh Christian a little bit. We talked about it in the pregame. 3 seniors, Michael, 3 starting seniors that played a lot last year in the Saints' victory over the Bruins. Shiloh was victorious last year, 35-7. And the Saints definitely, and Chris Wood, Mike, ironically, he'd like to get that first win as a head coach tonight. Yeah,
that's right. Who would have thought it but week 3? But you know, Shiloh has taken on all comers, Austin. They played a 4A team. They played a 5A team, now a 3A team. And, of course, Shiloh out of the 2A conference. They've taken on 3 of the best teams in the state in any classification, so you got to respect that.
Thomas Thrash, and I say this only figuratively, getting set to go under center because he and the Bruins will seldomly do that, and now they've got a crazy formation like a wide huddle over the line of scrimmage, and now they're going to back up, and they've maybe copied a lot off of Shiloh Christian. I know they do the direct snap a lot, and it's the direct snap, and now it's a reverse, and now it's a pass, and a guy is wide open, and it is Jones at the 40, and he's gone. 30, 20, 10, and that Shiloh's burned on one of the trick plays, and that quick, the Saints are down again, Michael. Oh, the PA fans have waited for this for a long time, and Shiloh Christian's defense was on snooze, and somebody better wake up the Saints.
Well, what they did, they little trickery there, Austin, an unusual formation. Then it was a reverse. They handed off to the wide receiver coming around the right side, and then he dropped back and threw a pass to a wide open Quentin Jones, who's got some pretty good speed, 74 yards and a touchdown.
Now, Mike, did you get that was a direct snap to Rotten at first?
Yes.
Roughton. And then he hands the reverse, and then the guy on the reverse that I didn't get his number throws the pass in stride to Jones. And now set for the point after is the kick is up, and it is good. So with 11:45 left, only 15 seconds, folks, gone by, and Pulaski Academy made it look real easy. And, Michael, that was a play you would expect Shiloh to play the trickery, but the Saints are on their heels, and that's what we said in the pregame. Who's going to be ready? Look at the pregame on Family 45, Michael. Crazy formation, and let's see who got that kick, or got the pass, Michael. That's why you need to join us, folks, on live webcast and on radio, so you can catch this on the pass. I still didn't get the number. A little wobbly of a pass, but he caught Jones right in stride.
It may have been Rick Campbell, possibly number 11, who threw that, Austin. And you're right about the trickery end of it. I think what Pulaski Academy wants to do, Kirby Norwood, he's a great head football coach down there. He knows Shiloh's got to be a little bit emotionally, mentally, and physically drained based on what happened this past Monday night. And I guarantee he was here scouting these Saints. So what they're doing, they're jumping on him right away.
And, Michael, look at PA. Everything they do is out of some kind of trick formation, it seems like. Now as they're getting set to kick away, and boy, the Bruins are pumped, folks. They have taken a beating at Shiloh Christian back since 1995, the season first year that Gus Malzahn was here. They won on a controversial play. They always have good kickers. They've been the state champions in soccer for many years, Michael, and they'll do it again that time as they'll kick it into the end zone, and the wind is swirling, and it looks like it was actually in their face. And so we will see with 11:45, Shiloh Christian getting set to have their first possession. And, Michael, the Saints have been outscored this season, 7-27 in the first quarter. Things had better change.
Well, they have not started as quickly as they have in previous years, also. Of course, last week they only had about 247 yards in total offense, but only gave up about 282 with 2 wide open offenses. There was some great defense being played.
And here we go, Emmert, and he doesn't see the snap, and there's going to be a fumble, and Shiloh's going to take it over. And my goodness, Michael, and to say this nicely, it's been a long time. Shiloh Christian does not have their head on right now, and somebody better fill those helmets with brains in a hurry for the Saints.
Well, last week, of course, Nathan Emmert came in that second half, and that was just instant shot of adrenaline, and you're in the football game. He's had quite a few days to think about this start, Austin. They put in some things just for him. He's got to settle down, play football.
Saints back at their own 5-yard line. They'll send Floyd in motion. Shotgun for Emmert. He's looking, throws from his own end zone. He's got Floyd, but Floyd is going to be wrapped up around the 8-yard line and a pickup of only a couple, and it's going to bring up 3rd down for Shiloh and around 20-21 yards. And, folks, it's going to be one of those kind of nights. Shiloh Christian's going to have to come ready to play. Mike, this was going to be a tough game if they'd had 10 days to prepare for, much less 3 days of rest, and a sophomore starting his first game of varsity ball. Wow. 7-0, Pulaski Academy leading right now, just underway. Emmert is going to be sacked, and the offensive line gives up another one, and Emmert is going to be taken down, and it's going to be 4th down, 3 and out for Shiloh Christian. Wow. Unbelievable.
Came a blitz from the really the weak side, Austin. But some good penetration on the strong side. That forced that forced Emmert back over, and that linebacker was right there. They've got a good linebacking crew, of course, led by Scott Landers, number 53, bench presses 340 pounds.
Here we go, Michael. Emmert back to punt this time. Doesn't get a bad one, but Jones is back there, and Shiloh doesn't want to have to spend all night trying to keep up with the Joneses. It's just going to roll to midfield, just on Shiloh's side of midfield, and now the Saints defense is going to have to try and prevent PA from going only 50 yards. They went 73 on their first possession, only one play, and Michael, last week, Pulaski Academy scored on 8 of their first 9 possessions and had first downs on their first 3 plays. They're tough.
They're tough, but the level of competition is not there compared to what Shiloh has been playing at these past 3 weeks, Austin. So Shiloh's got to settle down, once again play their style of football. You look at last week, they only completed 13 passes in last week's game for 189 yards on the passing side. They got to get a little confidence going here. It's going to start with some good defense.
10:04 left to play in the first quarter. 7-0 in favor of the Bruins. They have their second possession of tonight's game. Direct snap again. They're going to do it again. Going to try the pass on the reverse. Is anyone open? He is across the middle. And Drew Samuelson says, not in my neighborhood, as he racks up a good hit. He had a 40-yard touchdown on an interception return last week. And that was Shiloh, one of only 2 scores for the Saints. But PA, Michael, is enjoying watching, I believe the pronunciation there is Charles Roughton, getting it on the reverse and taking off and then handing off, and then to the guy in the wide receiver passing it.
Well, so far, Thomas Thrash has not thrown a ball yet.
We should see it this time, as he's the only one in the backfield. Shotgun formation, 2nd and 10 for the Bruins at the 50. Here come the Saints, out, first down for the Bruins, and they make it look easy. Out route, he slips away, and it could be another, a touchdown saving tackle at the Saint 20 by Nick Floyd. Boy, and the PA guys are loving what they're doing, Michael, right now. Last year, neither team could do much right, but the Saints were still ahead, 35-7. And Michael, I didn't get the catch on that either. I'm not really sure. We'll try and wait and see who caught that ball. We'll get that to you here in a moment. But it's first down and 10 for the Bruins at the Shiloh 20, and that's the Bruins' first down, Michael, because after all, their first pass last possession was a touchdown. Blake Miller was the recipient of that, Michael. One back formation, it's a direct snap, and it's a fumble this time, but I believe the Bruins came up with it. Last year, both teams had 1 fumble, and both lost those 1 fumbles. A lot of turnovers in last year's game. 9:20 left to play first quarter. Clock's rolling, and the Bruins are too. 7-0, they lead. It's now 2nd and 9. Even a busted play for the Bruins gains a yard. They have the ball on the Shiloh 19-yard line. They're going no huddle. So Shiloh Christian having to play a lot of teams, Michael, that have started mimicking really, in fact, what they brought to the state.
Well, it's a game with no rest, no recovery time. They're going to try to keep the pressure on the Saints.
Thomas Thrash, who had 6 interceptions last year, hasn't had to throw much so far. Maybe a good idea by the coach to let him get his way early on. It's a floater. It could be intercepted. Knocked away at the last minute by Yates, and it will bring up Michael 3rd down. And quite frankly, the guy they had throwing the first couple of passes looked a little better than Thrash. I wondered what coach was going to do there for PA, Michael, and he's letting Thrash feel his way out this game.
Well, and he was under some pressure there. Drew Samuelson was in there, and he comes off the field limping right now. Also, some good pressure by Daniel Savage coming right up the gut. And that ball should have been picked off, Austin. There was only 2 Saints in the area. Jones was well 5 yards beyond the pass.
Here we go, 2-down territory for the Bruins. Trips this time to the left side. Thrash and shotgun. He's going to roll left, get some time. He's got time. He's going to be pressured by Chris Hill, who's going to take him down, and that could be a sack. Looks like it's behind the line of scrimmage, and it will bring up 4th and 9. Michael, here's something that PA always has, though. Good place kickers. Most teams, ball is around the 20. That's a 35, 40-yard field goal. Most folks wouldn't think about it. PA, I think, is going to go for maybe a field goal. They do have Thrash in. And they're doing the flashcards like Shiloh was. I'm telling you, they've got the same colors. You would just feel like you fell off the Saint bandwagon and hit your head on the pavement.
Well, they're down to 12 seconds at this point, Austin. So it looks like they've got Thrash. He's back in shotgun position. They're going to go ahead and go for it.
Indeed. Now, we'll see if they try and jump Shiloh off sides. If so, I think someone stole somebody's playbook. Thrash rolling right, trips formation. He's got a man. He's got a man in the end zone. He's got him. Touchdown, PA on 4th down from the 19-yard line. That is a touchdown, I believe, to Rick Campbell. It is Campbell, Mike. Rick Campbell, just a junior. And Shiloh Christian is down 13-0.
Well, they flooded the right zone, Austin, as Thrash spread it out to the right side. They really flooded that area. There was 4 Pulaski receivers in the ballpark. And, of course, Thrash with a very nice pass, and he threw a bullet right in there to Rick Campbell, who caught it on about the 2-yard line and just fell over the goal line.
Mike, out to receive the kick right now, or to place the kick. Can you get that name for me? I'm going to pass that along to you. Adam something. My number 7. I'll just say it over there. Number 7. There you
Looks
go.
like Adam Butenschoen.
Okay, sure, with the boot. 7:56 left to play first quarter, and PA does it just like this, Michael. You can see it on the play side. Give it to us
You can
on
see him
4th
sprint
down.
out to the right-hand side. He's got 3 receivers there, and he picks the one in the middle, and he's wide open. Broken coverage. Shiloh did not have enough defenders in the zone, and they're looking a little slow of foot right now, Austin.
And his name is Button Show? Bootin' Show is what
As
they're
I
telling
said,
me up
as
there.
I said.
Sure you did.
That's
Bootin' Show.
what I
You did.
said.
That's what I said you said. Bootin' Show. Huh. 7:56 left to play in this first quarter. Mike, Pulaski Academy ahead. And Michael, Shiloh Christian in their last 3 outings haven't won a ball game, and something that we're not used to. The Saints still have a high ranking and that kind of deal. Does it play on the psyche? Do the guys even know it, or is that just something folks like me and you talk about?
I don't think they're paying that much attention to it, Austin. They're still ranked number 1 at the 2A level. You know, they've got a quarterback who many have rated the number 1 drop-back passer in the nation, any classification, and he's out. And all of a sudden they're down 14-0. Time for a wake-up call.
Indeed, Michael. Shiloh Christian, the kick again inside the 2. They run the starburst. It's a give around the right side to Sellers. Sellers breaks free and can't stay on his feet, or he had at least another 10 yards. Instead, the Saints will take over at their own 21-yard line. And Mike, we heard early on before the season that Coach Chris Wood said the Saints would run the ball more than they did last year. Last season, Shiloh Christian rushed for, last season against these Bruins, they rushed for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Well, that was, you know, obviously the TDs were in close, and a lot of that yardage came in the second half. Shiloh has not been in a position where they could run the football too often this year.
14-0, PA leads with 7:49 left, and the Saints are going to try and run it this time, and much to not a whole lot for Mike Sellers, and he is going to be taken down on the play by Shane Harmon, and it'll bring up 2nd down and a long 9 for Shiloh Christian. Saints coming into tonight's game at 0-1-1 on the 2001 season. Thanks for joining us on the signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week here at the Field of Champions. Sophomore Nathan Emmert in the game. He's pressured. He's going to just throw as he gets get rid of it, as he is hit back almost to the line of scrimmage to his brother Luke Emmert, twin brother at that, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for Shiloh Christian.
Just about 3 yards on the play, Austin. Just a couple of completions. 3 yards. It looks like a long 6, short 7 to go.
7 minutes left to play in this first quarter. Clock is rolling, and the Bruins are 14-0 over Shiloh Christian. The Bruins have scored on their first 2 possessions. Trips to the left side for Shiloh. They bring the house. Does PA? A floater sent by Nathan Emmert to Schisler. It falls incomplete over James Schisler's hands, and it's going to bring up 4th and 7 this time for Shiloh. Ball at their own 24. It looks like the Saints are going to have to punt again, Michael, especially how shaky the offense has been.
Well, they had both Blake Miller and John Aaron Reese out there in double coverage on Schisler, and they know that Schisler's the go-to guy. He's got great hands, he's got good moves, runs very disciplined routes, so they're going to double team him until somebody else starts catching the ball.
Emmert, short drop, he's going to punt it. He gets a good one, but it's going to be Jones. Jones can't handle it. It's going to bounce at the 40. Now he's going to get it on the bounce at the 30. He's trying to juke Drew Tucker. He's trying to set up a block. He gets it on the backside, but Shiloh says no thank you, and it could be clipping. We'll wait and see, Michael, what the call is. If it's clipping against PA, it'll back him way up. The flag was thrown at the 27 of the Bruins.
Good coverage down there by Sean Hyde, and Heath Thomas was down there as well, Ryan Blackwell, and they had him really hemmed in.
And it is clipping,
Yep.
Michael. And I don't know if we've got the PA system working this year, not with the head official. We'll see now. That was a preliminary call. They'll mark it off, and then if he does, he'll come hot across the sound system. We'll see. 14-0, Pulaski Academy leading right now, coming to the game 2-0.
Nope,
He does not.
not wired tonight.
Well, they were wired last
It was
week.
a good opportunity for him.
Well, he couldn't top what was going on last week. 14-yard line, their own. PA hasn't started just exceptional field position. They did start the 50 last time, but before that, the 27. One pass got him there. Shiloh's got to watch for these funky formations that usually Shiloh's dishing out at folks. It's a direct snap this time. They've got another guy in the backfield, 10 yards, 12 yards, and the Saints are nowhere to be found early on at the Field of Champions. It's going to be a rushing first down again out of the backfield. Mike, get me that number. I think at least.
That was 29. That was Stephen Green on the carry. Pickup of about 12 yards on the play.
Their first rushing first down. PA's only got a couple of first downs, Michael. The rest of them have been for touchdowns.
Well, when you can light it up like that, Austin, that's what they've been doing. But they've got a lot of weapons they can throw at you.
Well, and Kirby Norwood has not thrown a whole lot with Thrash. Thrash didn't have a lot of juice on his first pass he threw. We'll wait and see, though, if they throw a lot more West Coast. It's going to be a hand in the backfield again. Same runner. Scotty Shepard tries to grab him. He can't. Slows him down enough, though. Andrew Carter, good to see him back in the game. Will push him out around the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a pickup of one. 6:05, clock's rolling, first quarter. Pulaski Academy ranked 6th in 3A, leading right now 14-0.
Well, you talk about Pulaski Academy. Look at some of the matchups. They beat a fairly decent Clarksville team in week 1.
Who turned around and beat Harrison in week 2.
Yep, who Shiloh scrimmaged early on. Did not show their offense at all, but it was a scrimmage ball game. Looked like they had a pretty good football team.
Thrash again. They'll keep a one-back formation. I've been impressed early on with the play calling for the Bruins. Of course, when it works, I guess it's easy to be impressed. Shiloh showing blitz. Here they come. Brian Lee gives chase, can't get him, and Thrash wisely, and he threw it that time. He got rid of it hard right near his own bench. Intended receiver was Campbell, who's already got a 19-yard touchdown pass on the night.
Well, Shiloh's putting some pressure on the quarterback now, Austin. They're going ahead and mixing it up, changing their package a little bit, and they're flying to the football. They weren't doing that on those first 2 series.
If the first-string defense doesn't get it, you know the second-string defense has seen plenty of good passing in practice against that #1 Shiloh offense. Here we go, 3rd and 9 for Pulaski Academy. The band's all here. They're trying to get Shiloh Christian back in this game. Mike, it's got to be difficult playing 2 games within 4 nights. Thrash, shotgun. He's looking, quick out. Throws it over the intended receiver, and that is Quentin Jones, who is a nice-looking target to throw at, Mike. 6 foot, about 175, 80 pounds. He'll probably play on Saturday somewhere next year. It'll bring up 4th and 9 for PA. Ball at their own 27. The Bruins lead with 5:26 left to play first quarter.
Well, you see they use a lot of trips, as Shiloh does, and they really flooded the left zone, and then Jones just kind of floated over there to the right, but Shiloh stayed home.
And they use Thrash as their punter just in case they see a team cheating up. They can, or cheating back, they can go ahead and run a play. 4th down, it'll bounce at the 40. Shiloh's going to run it this time. I believe that's Schisler at the 42, the 43, and a pickup of about 4. Last year, PA averaged 43 yards per kick, but as we've seen Shiloh Christian, Mike, much in the past, they usually don't send a guy back. They did that time, senior James Schisler. 5:18 left to play first quarter. PA up 14-0.
Well, that cost them a couple of times last week, Austin.
Indeed.
And of course, Springdale runs that no-huddle offense, and what they do is they started in a regular passing formation, then shift. So you don't have time to get back deep, and that really freezes your return people.
Ball is on the left hash mark, and that is where Shiloh will overload trips to that left side. Emmert in shotgun. He looks right, only right. Doesn't check off, and he throws into good coverage that time, intended for Sellers, but all over him. It could have been pass interference was Peter Weiss, Michael. He was masquerading as a Shiloh jersey that time.
Well, that's right. You're allowed your initial bump off the line, and he bumped him off the line, pushed him off his route, and then he bumped him again, and then bumped him a 3rd time when the ball got there. And under normal circumstances, that's a flag.
Shiloh Christian needs something to get them going. 5:14 left to play first quarter. They trail by 14. Another bad snap, and Emmert's just going to have to follow it. No, he gets it away. He's trying to get positive yardage now, and Michael, that was a loss of about 15 for Shiloh, and the sophomore gets about 5, maybe 6 back. But I'll tell you, how Shiloh's not able to find anyone downfield, Michael, because PA's evidently bringing quite a few folks at Shiloh Christian and that sophomore quarterback, and that's a good idea by Coach Norwood.
Well, that's very unusual for snaps. Ryan Blackwell is usually 100%, and a little miscommunication there.
Shiloh Christian got to get that down. They try and change the play. It looks like it's quads to the left side, and PA is still showing a 4-man front, Michael. 4:35 left to play. Clock's rolling. A little trouble that time again, but Emmert holds it. He's looking only left. He throws. He's got a man open. First down. Near back to the original line of scrimmage. Now Drew Tucker gets a first down. Drew Tucker, who had a breakout game last year against the Bruins, has a great one again right there, at least a great catch. They need that senior to get going. Last week it was the battle of the Drews, Michael. Nancy Drew was about the only one for Shiloh that didn't play good on defense. Drew Samuelson, we mentioned, had the 40-yard interception touchdown. Drew Tucker intercepted one, returned it to the Springdale 3, and set up the other score.
That's right. Drew Tucker played a great defensive ball game for the Saints last week. He was a real spark plug, and they need him to contribute because he's one of the Saints with some good speed.
And I think that's Shiloh's first down of tonight with 4:24 left to play in this first quarter, trailing 14-0. Pressure again. Emmert is going to throw it, and they could throw a flag. They don't. Emmert just trying to get rid of it. He saw his intended receiver and was trying to get rid of it, and just as he did, they hit him. No flag, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Shiloh. Ball at the Bruin 45-yard line.
Well, they're doing some stunting on the inside there. What they're doing is they're pulling their linemen off and coming around the outside. Shiloh was not picking it up yet. Last week Springdale was doing a little bit of that, but Shiloh picked it up early on pretty well. But so far tonight, PA is running in that backfield.
2nd and 10. They'll send Sellers in motion with Shiloh. A little quick out to the right side. That's Tucker. And then comes back around. There's a fumble, and the Bruins have got it. Wow. Unbelievable. There's an injured PA player on the field. I think he'll be able to get up on his own strength. And the Bruins take the ball over at their own 38-yard line. I'm near speechless, Michael, and that never happens.
Well, it was nicely set up, but you know, it looks like PA has got a pretty good handle on what Shiloh's doing. What they did was a little quick inside screen, and they have Sellers in the flanker position. He drops a couple steps back, catches it, and goes towards the center of the line, but it was all clogged up. He was hit well,
and Michael,
that's what knocked the ball loose.
You said PA has a good idea what Shiloh's doing. The Saints, this is their first time to play on Friday nights this year, and so while they're having to get ready for a game like the next night or two, PA got to see Shiloh the day after their game on Saturday and probably was at Razorback Stadium Monday night.
Well, and a few fans are on their feet right now as Rhett Lashley has grabbed a football down on the sidelines and he's starting to throw it. Now, whether that's going to be okayed by Coach Chris Wood may be another thing, but he's pretty fired up right now, and the Saints cannot afford to go down by a 3rd touchdown.
Well, Michael, those New York Knick fans out there might say a little Walt Frazier maybe for Shiloh Christian, going to pull him in. And you see the fumble, Mike, he just couldn't hang on to it. A strip that time, it looked like getting a paw in there was Harmon. Now, the penalty was against the Bruins, so it'll be 1st and 15 for them now at their own 33. One-back formation. Thrash in shotgun. Snaps the ball this time. 2-step drop. Here come the Saints. He's got plenty of time. He's got a safety valve wide open on the left flat. Pickup of 2. 3 yards. 4 on the play, Michael. It looked like that was Scott Hilburn. Scott Hilburn, who had a rushing touchdown last week of 5 yards against Subiaco Academy, and Pulaski Academy beat Subiaco 62-16. Now, Subiaco is by far no Springdale, and not just the greatest football team on a consistent year-end basis, but that's probably been an advantage for PA, Michael. They've got to put all their non-conference chips on this table of Shiloh.
Right, this is their game of the year.
2nd down and 12 for Pulaski Academy. Flag thrown, could be holding, we'll wait and see. Throws through the hands of Hilburn, and he was open across the middle. But once again, we talked about it before, you don't want to throw him across the middle too high. Not many receivers on high school will come down with them.
Well, let's see who they go and talk to. This is going to be procedure, and it's going to go against Pulaski, so that'll make it 2nd down and about 16 yards.
A lot of adrenaline used by Pulaski Academy here early on, Michael, and we'll see if that maybe gets them a little ragged here early on. Shiloh obviously has had no emotions in this game so far.
Well, you know, we talked about this being their game of the year, Austin, and of course Shiloh's played a really tough schedule. Shiloh goes into regular 2A conference play after tonight. Some would say a little bit easier schedule, obviously so, but they've got to pick it up tonight. PA's in their face. Here
we go, 3rd and 11 this time. Shiloh declines the penalty. They say, we're going to get you. We're going to get you. And I believe that PA got them. Yeah, I believe Chris Hill might have come over the neutral zone, if you will. 3:28 left to play first quarter. Bruins up 14-0. Now they're going to have it with the 5-yard penalty. It's going to be 3rd and 6 at the 43-yard line of Pulaski Academy. And, well, you gamble sometimes, Michael, and that didn't pay off.
Well, they were on the line of scrimmage. Looked like Hill was going to come in on a blitz off right tackle there. They were on their toes. They're a little bit fired up. Some emotion getting into these Saints' attitude right now.
Trips to the right side for the Bruins. Thrashing shotgun. He's rolling out right. They don't keep him in the pocket at all. He's going to throw across his body, and I believe it's complete. Did he come down with that?
Yep.
That was Hilburn. Check his fingernails for grass. He made a great catch there, a pickup of about 15. They only needed about 8. It takes it into Shiloh territory, and more importantly, another first down for the Bruins, Michael, who've looked very sharp. They look sharper offensively than the Bulldogs did last week. Of course, you and I both know that Shiloh Christian, no excuses here, folks, but 3 days of rest, their biggest rivalry the school could ever draw up. It's got to be tough on that emotional tank of the Saints. It's showing early on. 1st and 10 for the Bruins at the Shiloh 47. It's a direct snap. They have trouble with it, do the Bruins, and the Saints are going to wrap him up. Going nowhere in a hurry is Nelson. That's Green, I apologize. He's got an uncle, cousin I read in the paper, and I didn't write it down. I didn't know how much he'd played, being just a sophomore. One of his relatives plays in the NFL right now, and he's quick enough as a sophomore. They're putting him in the backfield, but he botches the snap. It's a loss of 9, brings up 2nd and 9, back in PA territory at their own 45. 2:38, clock is rolling in the first quarter. Thrash taking his time this time. Looks like he could be changing the play. Shiloh shows blitz with sophomore Friesen. Lee jumping in there. It's going to be the direct snap again to Green, rolling right side, a pickup of 5, 6, 7, original line of scrimmage. There he is met by Scotty Shepard. And when you're met by Scotty Shepard, that's usually the end of the sentence. That'll bring up 3rd down as he got back to the original line of scrimmage near it, but it's going to still be around 9 yards for the Bruins, who lead 14-0, and Michael, they're showing their A game early on.
That's right, and of course Scotty Shepard, who made a nice play on that, covered the entire football field last week. He was just spent by halftime, but he's what the Saints would call, of course, his nickname's the Godfather, but he's a real silent leader. Doesn't say a heck of a lot, but I was talking to Grant Nickel, who was an all-state lineman last year for the Saints, and he says there's one guy I wouldn't want to go against one-on-one, it's Scotty Shepard.
Trips to the left side. The Saint fans come to their feet on 3rd and 10. Ball at the Shiloh 47. Thrash looking to pass. He's pressured. He gets rid of it. Oh, what a catch. Near first down yardage, and that is pulled in by Rick Campbell. And, Michael, he made a Schisler catch, if you will. He was hit just perfect timing by the Shiloh secondary, but he holds on to it, and if indeed he does, it should be a first down. The refs are going to measure this one.
Yeah, it's got to be very close. If he makes it, it's going to be by half the football. But once again, deep inside Shiloh territory. They are outside of field goal range. Obviously, that would be about be over 50 yards. So they would probably go for it, most likely on 4th down.
1:23 left to play in this first quarter that has been dominated by the Bruins, and another first down for Pulaski Academy. They lead 14-0, and the ball is spotted at the 37-yard line of Shiloh Christian. So the Bruins again march right into Shiloh Christian territory.
Well, the first quarter is almost gone, and Shiloh has run off, I believe, 8, maybe 9 plays here in the first quarter, and that is not typical Shiloh football.
1:15, 1:14, clock is rolling. You're right, Michael, only 2 possessions for Shiloh Christian, actually 3. 3, they've just seemed like 2, not much to it. One back formation, Thrash under center. He's going to give up the middle, wide open, a first down and then some, and the Bruins can do no wrong. Matt Stoltz, who plays linebacker on defense and is just a sophomore, comes barreling through the line that time, Michael. And Stoltz, who I believe also had a touchdown last week, Matt Stoltz, he had a direct snap from 9 yards last week on their first possession, and that was for a touchdown. We've seen that direct snap already tonight.
Well, it was a draw play, and what they did was they spread Shiloh's defensive line, let them come flying in there as they have been times tonight, on a pass defense, and very nice timing for Pulaski.
Speaking of timing, Michael, we missed that timeout, so we'll stick here right now on KKEG 92.1. Thanks for joining us right now. The Bruins leading 14-0 over the Saints of Shiloh Christian on your signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week. Austin Bivens along with Mike Morgan. Michael, we put in overtime this week, and so is that coaching staff. You can see on Family 45, but that's the secret. Getting guys ready like that. It'll be 2nd and 10 right there, Michael, as a pickup there after the first down on the previous play. Looks like it will be against the Bruins.
Yeah, they're talking to the Saints on it.
And, Michael, that's really been Shiloh's ally early on, have been the penalties against PA.
That's going to be a personal foul, looks like, against Pulaski Academy. Or, excuse me. That's just a 5-yard penalty.
Be sure and stay tuned, folks.
Illegal formation.
Next week, Shiloh Christian begins conference play against the Black Hawks of Pea Ridge, and a Pea Ridge team that's quite different than they've been in the past. They've got a coach that's been to a state championship game before, who's installed that dead tee that Cabot has made famous. Here we go, 2nd and 15 after the penalty is assessed at the Shiloh 19. Thrash under center. It looks like he's going to change the play. He's a 2-year starter, Michael, that I know of. Back in shotgun. He's looking left, looks across the field. He's got a play developed to Jones. Jones dances his way around the right sideline before he's pushed out of bounds by Sellers, just inside the original line of scrimmage, and it will bring up, let's see, we've got the chain crew and the scoreboard a little opposite. I guess it's second down and 9 now for the Bruins. Ball at the around the 11-yard line, 12-yard line of Shiloh Christian. No problem for the Bruins. 6 seconds left, but the clock is dead.
Well, up to that first 74-yard touchdown, it's been 10 completions for 61 yards, so a little bit shorter patterns, about 6 yards, but they're picking it up consistently.
Shiloh Christian doesn't have a man on Jones right now, Michael. It's going to be the inside handoff, though. The Saints can't bring him down at the line, and Chris Hill tried to, but just couldn't take him down. But that'll end the first quarter with a minimal gain by the Bruins of about 3 yards. So that ends the first frame at this Field of Champions. PA couldn't be happier. They lead 14-0. We'll take a timeout when we come back. The second quarter begins back after this. Okay, because I know you're getting some crowd through our headset. All right, buddy. 10 seconds. Five seconds. And back at your signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week. Austin Bivens along with Michael Morgan and the Bruins of Pulaski Academy, who Shiloh Christian, last time these two teams played was in '97 when Shiloh really started to get a hold of their passing offense. And this was a game that they won. And then last year they resumed the series, and the Saints went down to the capital city and was victorious again 35-7. Here we go. The Bruins have it as they've changed sides of the field. 3rd and 6 at the Shiloh 9. Thrash and shotgun. No one behind him. Could it be a keeper? It's not. He's going to roll right. He's got a man in the corner of the end zone. He backs off of him, and it's going to be a caught through 2 Shiloh defenders. Touchdown Bruins. Shiloh's getting blown out right now with 11:54 left to play in the first half, and PA is winning, folks, 20-0. Do not readjust any of your TV, radio, internet sites. It's 20-0 Pulaski Academy.
Well, that was a bullet to Scott Hilburn, Austin, and his 4th catch of the night and his first touchdown. They really flooded the right side, and they had a lot of guys running right along the goal line. And there was nobody out in front of Thrash to really pressure him or to get in his way as they sprinted him out as well. He just picked his target and threaded the needle.
Booten Show with the point after, and he is a perfect 3 for 3 on the night. PA near that as well in perfection. They lead right now, folks, 21-0. And Mike, we've seen this a lot of times on other sides of the field. Shiloh doesn't have a pep in their step at all right now. I wouldn't say their heads are down. They're beyond that. But not a lot of spunk over there for Shiloh Christian. And 21-0 right now. It's getting near the point, Mike, that Shiloh Christian's going to have trouble coming back. Take a look on that at Family 45. It went through Drew Tucker's hands, and it went through Nick Floyd's hands, Michael, or just beside him as we see Thrash line up.
Well, the key is, Austin, they're not getting any pressure on the quarterback, and he sprints out to the right side. Thrash seems to throw on the run pretty well, but you can see he kind of gets out of the coverage here by running to his right. Shiloh's got no penetration at all. He just picks his target. He threw it right over Floyd, threaded the needle. It was a very nicely thrown pass, but too many holes in that Shiloh defense early on. 11:54 mark, Shiloh finds themselves down 21-0.
Well, and Michael, PA had the best of both worlds in this kind of game that they're wanting to already get the game over with leading. They traveled 62 yards in 4 minutes and 18 seconds, taking 9 plays for the Bruins to cover that distance. And the Bruins, aside from being at the 50, they're a couple of possessions before. They haven't had just awesome field position for high school ball anyway. Bodenstein going to take the kickoff around the 26, 27-yard line, lowers his shoulder, might have got another yard or two. And let's see who comes out for Shiloh, and they will stick with the sophomore, Nathan Emmert.
Yeah, Nathan Emmert back into the game. They're bringing in some new receivers as well. Looks like they've got Bodenstein in there. They've got Luke Emmert in there, Sellers and Floyd, as well as Schisler split out to the left.
11:48 left to play first half. 21-0 Pulaski Academy. Trips to the left side. Emmert can't find anything. He's going to throw over Schisler. around the 40, and the Saints just aren't clicking right now, folks. Is just as good as you can say it.
Well, he was wide open as well as Sellers and Floyd both cut in front of him. There was a soft spot on about the 42-yard line. Good rush, though, by Pulaski. And, of course, you take a young quarterback and you give him all kinds of time back there. The offensive line did a great job last week, and he was able to find some targets. Tonight, Pulaski's really sending everybody.
He was able early on. Low snap again, a little quick out. Screen pass left side at the 30 to Nick Floyd, and Michael, PA is all over the field. How they're doing it, but everywhere Shiloh is, they are there, and that's going to be a minimal gain, maybe 4 for Shiloh Christian's Nick Floyd, who had a touchdown reception in last year's game against the Bruins. It'll bring up 3rd down and a long 6. Now, while Emmert was hot early on in that first possession, Michael, he cooled and finished the game at 8 for 20. That was 40%. Shotgun formation. He steps up in the pocket. He's going to be hit and taken down again, 4th and 12. And the Bruins, folks, they just can't do anything wrong, and the Saints can't do anything right. It's going to be a loss of about 6, maybe 7. 4th down and punting time again for Shiloh.
Yeah, they're going to have to punt it away. The wind seems to have calmed down a little bit, and Emmert's going to go ahead and punt it away again. 4th down deep in their own territory, inside their own 30.
Last time Shiloh Christian was pushed this much at home was in the playoffs against Charleston, and then in Week 9 last year against Charleston. High punt by Emmert. Fair catch called at their own 40 by number 4, Quentin Jones. And, of course, if you're Coach Kirby Norwood right now, Michael, you're just telling your guys, don't do anything stupid.
No,
you're up 21-0.
He's not going to call off the dogs, that's for sure, because certainly in the first half, really, the second quarter, beginning of the second quarter, you want to maintain that momentum. Shiloh has not been able to generate the spark they need on the defensive side, either to make a big stop or to get that turnover that they were looking for. They've had a couple of opportunities, but credit Pulaski Academy, they made the big play.
Mike, 3 and out, 4 plays and a fumble for Shiloh, then 3 and out. That has been the story, folks, at the Field of Champions. 10:38 left to play first half. The Saint faithful, much to their credit, comes to their feet, trying to keep these Saints in it. Congratulations to them. Good spirit. 21-0. The Bruins lead, and they're playing excellent. Quads to the right side. They're throwing back across the grain. It is complete this time to Rotten.
Great
But
play.
Rotten goes nowhere. It was Rotten, if you will. Brian Lee says, I don't think so, deep in the backfield for the Bruins, and it's going to be a loss of almost 12. That's always what happens, though, Mike, on those plays. It's usually real good or real bad. As you can see, Rhett Lashley still trying to warm up a little bit. He don't have his helmet on. Will Flowers does. He's the
Will
other
Flowers
quarterback.
is the other quarterback. He's a left-hander, throws a very nice ball. He's a senior. Hard to tell who's warming up who.
That's right, Michael. 10 minutes, clock is rolling after the great defensive stop by Brian Lee, who's showing he's going to shoot the gap again from his linebacker. Now he's going to back off, play a little safe in the mid-secondary. Going long is Thrash, and he's got it complete at the 20-yard line. A great over-the-shoulder catch by Quentin Jones. And, Michael, they're acting like it's practice out here. Everything that PA has done has worked. And Thrash threw a ball that was right on the money. That was perfect.
Well, that's Quentin Jones' 3rd catch for 120 yards. He, of course, had the first play of the game, a 74-yard TD. But that was a beautifully thrown ball, and Quentin Jones with some great speed. We didn't have anything on his speed, nothing published in Hooten's and nothing in the newspaper, but he's got to be running a sub 4.5, Austin, as he flew down the football field. But a very nice pass by Thrash.
9:50 left first half. Bruins lead 21-0, 1st and 10 at the Shiloh 21. Folks, they are just walking into the Saints side of the field. It's going to be a direct snap to Green. Thrash is going to lead. He sets a block. Not much of one. They'll keep him at quarterback.
Andrew Carter.
And Carter says, don't know, you're going to get any my direction, and Green does not. It's going to be a loss of about 6 on the play, and Carter, after getting hurt on the kickoff, Mike, has come back playing pretty nice to seal that corner.
Yeah, he started out, he got his bell rung early on, but he made a nice play to get inside of the blocker. Normally you want to force that back to the inside, but Green kind of showed his cards on that play, and Carter made him pay. A big loss, and they got to have to stop him here, Austin.
Bruins' 5th possession of the night, folks. They've scored on their first 3, punted only once. They'll have it 2nd and 14, though, at the Shiloh 24-yard line. Shiloh not dropping a whole lot of folks back. Thrash going to roll right. Coming back to the ball, nothing's there. He's going to find a safety valve, incomplete across the middle, and it just went through the hands of, it looks like Bo is all I can make out here, folks. We got to get a PA, a new copy machine, or either Shiloh, whoever ran these off. But It actually went through his hands, Michael. He had a chance at making that catch, but it would have been for minimal gain. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 14 again for PA. They lead 21-0 with 8:59 left first half.
Well, that's one of the strengths they talk about Pulaski, Austin, is that offensive line and, of course, their receiving core and quarterback. Offensive line is doing a great job. Shiloh is just not able to put any pressure on Thrash, and he's just picking his spots.
Shiloh Christian, Scotty Shepard off to that right defensive tackle position, almost a defensive end they're playing him right now. Thrash looking, he's got a man open, it's going to be Jones. Shiloh can't keep up with the Joneses. Touchdown PA from 24 yards out, and PA is up 27-0 right now. And Jones looks like he could be hurt over there, Michael. He went sliding into the left, out of the left end zone, and let's hope he gets up, Michael. He is he's a special kid, no doubt, for PA.
Well, he went up and got the football. Mismatch, you know, there's not a lot of size unless it's James Schisler back there. There's not a lot of size for these Shiloh cornerbacks. Jones went up and took the ball away. Looked like he managed to get one leg down before 2 Saints converged on him for the tackle. And he is still down here. He could be a little bit tired. He's run a lot. This last series alone, he's contributed almost 80 yards in receptions.
Well, 1 minute, 46 seconds is how long it took PA, Michael. And on my scoring list, first 4 scores, the only 4 scores, are due to Pulaski Academy.
Well, Thrash is now completed. Well, as a matter of fact, he's thrown 15 times for 130 yards. We'll update you on the completions a little bit later.
They're going to, both teams coming together, going to pray for Thrash. I believe that was Shiloh's Floyd who came together and asked both teams to kneel around the goal line.
That's
pretty
Shiloh
classy
football right there.
No kidding, especially when you folks out there are saying, I'd like to see how the boys react now when they're getting beat 27-0. Well, they just took a knee at the goal line and prayed for a guy that just scored a touchdown on them. So that should answer quite a bit of that. 8:52 left to play in the first half, and the Bruins lead right now 27-0, and the guy that just scored from 24 yards out, Jones, looks like he might have turned an ankle. We hope to get an update to you before the game's over.
Yeah, it looks like, well, hard to tell.
Boot and shoe.
Ankle or a knee, but he's walking under his own power.
Boot and shoe actually up again. Shiloh almost blocked that one. Coming in was Samuelson, or that was Schisler, but it is
Little spark.
incomplete. The point after fails, and so with 8:52 left, though, folks, in the first half, the Bruins lead 27-0, and Shiloh has 1 first down right now, folks. 1. They've went 3 and out, and on their 4th possession, they fumbled.
Austin, they are just flat, and no excuses. They are simply flat tonight, Austin, because they know how to play this brand of football. This is 7-on-7 is what they're playing right now.
You bring that up, the Bruins were the only team that beat Shiloh Christian in the FCA camp this year. And then Shiloh Christian went on to actually win that FCA Classic. But the Bruins, I think, kind of had a feeling that they might have been catching Shiloh on a good week, felt confident after that 7-on-7, and right now it's paying off.
They're going after them.
They are.
27-0 here, 8 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
That's what happens when you're a great program like Shiloh. Everyone's up for you. And really, even Springdale was up for Shiloh last week. It wasn't like they were playing their little brother. I mean, they were playing. They knew it was a big game. Anytime the Saints come to town, or in this case, stay home and you come to town. Starburst this time. They'll give it to the last guy. That's Floyd, who cuts back at the hash mark, picks up a good block. He needs to squirt through. As a sophomore, he returned one for a touchdown. And now he's going to be around the 32. Actually, last year against Decatur as well, Floyd returned a touchdown on the opening kickoff. 32-yard line, Shiloh takes over.
They may have to set a new Shiloh record. I think back to that Junction City game that was 70-64. I think they were only down 28 points at one point.
24, you're right, because they did kick the field goal.
At one point, and now they're down 27. They were down by, I think, 14 in game
Flowers
one.
is in, Michael. Will Flowers, the senior, is in right now. A southpaw at that. Looks like he's going to get the signal. Looking back, steps across the middle. He's got a man open just for a second, but he throws it behind Schisler. And it'll be interesting, Michael. This is a tough position for Chris Wood to be in. First-year coach, and I know everyone could think back to Houston Nutt, his first game this year for the Razorbacks. It's tough to do a quarterback audition during game night, but that's the only time these guys have ever had a chance.
Well, Rhett Lashley is putting his helmet on, strapping his chin strap on, and he's standing over by Coach Wood, and I don't know if he's going to get the nod.
Looking out is Will Flowers, who throws complete, but it's at the original line of scrimmage, and it's a pickup of nothing, maybe a yard to Nick Floyd. Michael, that's something that's been interesting these first two games, and now in the third, Shiloh hasn't had anything 15 and 20 yards deep. Most everything's been underneath.
They have not been able to spread the field, Austin, at all. They have not been able to get anybody deep downfield. Of course, Schisler, in the first game, he had a bruised knee, and he was just able to hobble around. They just don't have the speed to spread the football
Trips
field.
to the left side again for the southpaw. Flowers, he's going deep. This time he's got Floyd, but it's going to be overthrown, and it's going to be a flag down. Knocking him off of his pattern was Hilburn, and Michael, that's the only way Shiloh gets the first down because that ball was slightly overthrown, but Nick Floyd knocked off his pattern by Hilburn. It's going to be pass interference. 15 yards Shiloh.
Yeah, it was overthrown, but it may have been catchable, but about 5 yards before the ball even got there, Hilburn started pushing him, so Floyd was on the way down. Now, of course, that is not like the NFL where it's from the point of infraction. That's going to be from the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty, which will give Shiloh a first down.
And only their second of the night.
On their 48.
First one by penalty. 8:06 left to play in the first half. The Bruins lead 27-0. Only things went wrong for them, they missed their last point after. Will Flowers gets a first down for Shiloh after the penalty at their own 48-yard line. Saints got a stack in the line. Flowers throws complete and stretching his Sellers for an extra yard or two just past the line of scrimmage. Folks, the Saints having to change things up a little tonight. They're just having to pick it up any way they can. That a pickup of 3, maybe, no, just going to be about 3 yards over the middle to Mike Sellers, who has 2 touchdown receptions on the season, both against Wynn in the opener.
Well, now, they've got Schisler out here isolated as a mismatch. He's playing a defender that's about 5'9".
They look his direction. No, they go across the middle again to Sellers, and Sellers fumbles again, and it's going to be interesting. I think PA might have come up with that one.
No, well, it's hard to tell. Both PA and the Shiloh Saint had their arms around it, and PA comes up with it.
PA got it. Wow. The Shiloh fans are stunned. 7:30 left to play in this first half. A Saints drive that was sputtering a little bit. And, Mike, it's not like they're just getting beat by a good team, and they are, but they can't seem to do anything right their side.
They're making mistakes. When you go over the middle of the football field like that, A, you got to expect to hit. B, you got to protect the football because you're flying by a lot of arms and a lot of headhunters out there. That's middle linebacker territory. And they have not been able to protect the football. That's twice now. They've been stripped going over the middle. And, when you get down 27-0, all of a sudden you're trying to get it back in one big play. You're trying to make that second and third effort and see if you can bust something loose, and those things tend to happen.
Thrash in shotgun. It'll be Twins to the left side. Welcome back here. Thanks for staying here, indeed, for the Signed, Sealed, Delivered game of the week, a flag down. And it'll stop the play before it ever gets going.
25-second clock.
Yes, Michael,
out.
Delay of game. And so it'll be 5 more yards and just a few penalties for Pulaski Academy, but they've been over to overcome them, and they are leading 27-0 right now. 1st and 15 after the penalty assessed at their own 42-yard line. Some substitutions going on for Shiloh defense.
Looking on the sideline here, Chris Wood came over and talked a little bit with Rhett Lashley as he continues to warm up. So they may bring him in just to give this team a boost just for a series.
We'll see. They haven't played him on defense. They were not going to go. Nick Floyd, blindside, he gets blocked just in the last second. And Thrash can't find his receiver out along the left flat, but Nick Floyd was just about half a yard away from a big defensive play, but picking him up quite well in the backfield was Roughton. Had trouble with that all night. Shiloh's having trouble with PA, trailing 27-0 right now. Shiloh hasn't been behind like this since, like you said, Michael, down at Junction City, that mammoth game that they won, I've already forgotten, 70-66?
70-64.
70-64. It should be burned in forever in my memory. 2nd and 15 for the Bruins. Ball at the Shiloh 42-yard line. Thrash and shotgun. They'll go Twins to the left side. They'll go Twins both sides. That's why it's called Twins. There we go. Even the announcer's dead tonight.
Almost picked off by
Almost
Schisler.
picked off,
nice
indeed.
Play made by, that was Brian Lee. He timed it perfectly. It was just a short little pattern over on the right side there. He hit the defender, the receiver, just as he caught it, almost picked off by Schisler. That's what they need.
The fans going crazy here at the Field of Champions, but much of that on the side of the Bruins. Tough night for high school football. We addressed that during the pregame, Michael, and the folks on the AAA decided to go ahead and play this game with all that's going on across the country. Flags on the field flying at half-staff, of course. Trips to the left side for the Bruins. 3rd and 15 at their own 42. Here comes Nick Floyd backside. He just can't get him, but it's going to be off the left side. Complete left flat. Shiloh can't bring him down, and he's near first down yardage. Wow. Shiloh Christian had that receiver stop, Mike. At the original line of scrimmage, it would have been 4th and about 10. Now it's going to be 4th and about a half a yard. Incredible second effort that time by the receiver. And I'm sorry I didn't get the
I think
number.
that was Scott Hilburn, Austin, as he looked like a couple of Saint defenders were really flying into the pack there, but missed the tackle.
The Bruins.
So you're right. Now it's they're going to go ahead and go for it now.
Oh, sure. Why not, Michael? They've done nothing wrong, and the Bruins want this game bad. Look for the direct snap. I can see the way they're lining up. Routon. He's kind of got it with his hands on his knees a lot of times. They say they're going to punt, and they do. Wow. On 4th and 1 at the Shiloh 42, and the ball goes in the end zone, so it's a net punt of 22 yards. Not sure about that. Shiloh's only had 1 first down that they've earned. The other was a penalty. But PA still is going to punt this thing, is Coach Norwood. And so Shiloh catches a break there, and they will have it 1st and 10.
Well, that shows they're going to be a little bit conservative at this point, Austin. Of course, one thing you don't want to do is switch momentum. If they didn't pick up that first down there, Shiloh's got it good field position, plus they've got a little momentum.
Lashley is in, Michael. He is going to take to the field. Let's see what Rhett Lashley can do. Folks, he is all world on the high school level, but he has got a very bruised shoulder. Hasn't even played so far tonight, and they were not going to play him from what we understood. Looking back to pass, they're going to test him early, and it is incomplete, but threw it out of the hands of Sellers. He found Sellers. And, Mike, here's the interesting thing. Is PA going to keep everybody pretty tight? Do they know that Red can't throw the long ball? The wind's blowing already, so it'll be interesting. Ball incomplete, 2nd and 10. 6:25 left to play first half. Bruins up 27-0.
Well, he can't throw hard. Matter of fact, he has not thrown all week, Austin, so the timing can't be that good either. But how many games has he pulled out in the second half?
Trips to the right side. Lashley looking. He's got time. He throws to Schisler, who comes up with it. The ball kind of looks like it's dropping a little bit, Michael. The guys are so used to when it gets out of Red's hand, it getting there in a hurry, and these are kind of floating a little bit. But
7 yards.
Bring up 3rd and 3. It's just a tribute to that young man, Michael, that he's in there. Folks, that's not, well, I mean, come on. He wants to play, obviously. He didn't get to play in the second half against Malzahn and Springdale, so you know it was bad. Lashley looking back, plenty of time. He's got a man. First down for Shiloh. It's to Sellers. Sellers trying to weave his way into the 40. Almost there. It's Shiloh, one of their longest pickups of the night. Might be that, in fact, of about 12, 13 yards for Mike Sellers, the 5'10 senior.
Well, it's only the second pass Sellers has caught, Austin, but that last completion to Schisler was his first reception of the evening.
See a few of the PA guys kind of putting their hands on their waist. We'll see if they get out of breath later. They've sure had a lot to be excited about and run around the field. 1st and 10 for Shiloh at their own 39. Lashley with a good fake that time is going to give to Sellers, but boy, the Saints have got nothing on the ground this whole year, Michael. They've only had 141 yards rushing in 2 games, and nothing there that time. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 yards for Shiloh, who trail 27-0 right now at the hands of the Bruins from Class 3A with 5:25 left to play in this first half.
Well, I'm sure Rhett Lashley's got some very specific instructions. That is, don't run with it, get rid of the football. So they're not going to respect that quarterback draw that he does so many times either.
If it's up to Rhett to change the play, I'd watch him tuck it and go, knowing him, but I'm sure he's got those orders, Michael. He throws one good, right on the money at the 50. Rhett Lashley about 13 yards in the air. I talked with his dad earlier. I know Phil doesn't like airtime, but he said, you know, I'm just worried about my kid playing in the future. I just want to make sure it was that serious. But he said, luckily, there was no permanent damage, it looked like.
That's right.
Just a deep tissue bruise that they said, man, this is the kind you don't want to probably play on the next night. You could really hurt something. Another first down for Shiloh Christian, 2. That's the first time tonight, folks, that they've had 2 first downs in one series. They're just past midfield of the Bruins. Lashley, plenty of time, throws, that's interference, and they'll throw it.
Yep, you bet.
And Mike Yates goes across, and Michael, it looked like, I thought it was Sellers because the guy had his jersey pulled so hard, I didn't see the 1, I just saw the 2.
Yeah, Hunter Williams, Yates had a little inside move on him, and he was not going to let him go. And he got caught. Matter of fact, the back judge is the one who caught it, not the one in the middle of the football field who would normally see make that call.
So here we go with 4:52 left to play in this first half. And Shiloh Christian will get it 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line of the Bruins. Saints are going to go. Lashley is marching his team back. The clock is rolling. Lashley, he's looking left. He's pressured a little bit. He's just going to get rid of it. He sends the floater to Nick Floyd, who's bumped out of bounds. And they're going to throw another flag. Another flag has been thrown in the Bruins secondary. Can't figure out Rhett Lashley, and the Shiloh fans finally have something to brag about. It's a guy by the name of Rhett Lashley who refuses to go down. And, Michael, he's going to have a cast on before he doesn't play.
Well, you've been seeing a lot of this. The Shiloh Saints have been bumped off their routes early. Now, all of a sudden, Rhett Lashley's throwing the ball in the area of the receiver as they're getting bumped off their routes. It's a lot more obvious, a lot more visible. And these officials are going ahead and calling.
Michael, Shiloh has 3 first downs by air, 3 by yellow flag. They'll take anything they can get with 4:41 left to play. Downfield, the guy wearing the white hat, at least Shiloh thinks that, not just literally, but figuratively. They're liking that guy right now. Another pass interference. Shiloh 1st and 10 at the Bruins 19. Rhett Lashley barking out signals. Look like the old Lashley of old. It's a 1-back formation this time. Twins. Shotgun for Lashley. He's looking right. He throws.
Yates
Man wide open. It's Yates. Did he run out of real estate? They say touchdown. Michael Yates, who had a 21-yarder in the first game, gets a 19-yarder, and Lashley to Yates, and Lashley just walks off the field and says, see, I only need one good arm. Touchdown, Shiloh. 4:35 left to play, and the Saint fans say, that's what we've come to love. Please, Rhett Lashley, stay healthy this season.
Lashley led them on that drive, Austin. He had 5 passes, 32 yards and a touchdown, helped by a couple of nicely thrown balls where the receivers were bumped off and some big first downs through penalties. But I tell you what a beautiful move by Yates as the defender bought the inside move. He was wide open to the outside.
J.D. Weathers, point after, it goes over the power lines, and Pele makes him pay. He's 8 of 10 on the season now for 80%. Take a look at the replay there on Family 45, Michael, and this is what Rhett Lashley did the entire series that time that the Saints have got to love. Folks, you need to tune in on delayed broadcast every week, Family 45, to see this. Field level, you can see, Michael, he's changing the play. The Shiloh fans are coming to their feet right now in the present, but look at that in the past. 19 yards and pass indeed.
You can see Peter Weiss on the right-hand side in coverage with Yates, and he takes that inside move, falls down. Yates is right there for the touchdown, only needs 1 foot. And what a big emotional lift for the Saints, Austin. 27-7, but they move the football right down the field. This is going to take a little wear and tear on a 3A ball club. A lot of these guys are playing both sides of the football for Pulaski as well. And now they're starting to make him work rather than the Shiloh defense out in the football field.
Michael, Shiloh Christian, it's the Saints of old, or at least it looked like that on that scoring summary. 80 yards traveled in 6 plays, 1 minute, 53 seconds of game time, and the Saints get on the board and tack on the point after, courtesy J.D. Weathers, and with 4:35 left to play first half, the Saints have scored their first points, Michael, of the 2001 season at home, and the first 2 weeks they've been the home team. We'll clue you in later. 35-yard line, that little pop fly kick by Weathers that he does so well will be dead at the 37-yard line of PA. Plenty of time left here, folks, for either team to score again in this first half. A first half that's been rejuvenated thanks in part to senior Rhett Lashley coming back out on the field. He's missed the last 3 quarters, Michael. 2 quarters in the Springdale game and the first quarter here. He couldn't stand it any longer, Michael. It was going to take Dr. J to hold him out from the sideline.
He was throwing an awful lot of balls on that sideline, and Coach Wood certainly got Coach Wood's attention. And they cut a deal, Austin, and I think that was just get rid of that football, but what a beautiful arm he's got.
And thrashing shotgun, it is going to be, it looks Twins again. It's going to be the direct snap this time. They've got a different guy, and Scotty Shepard says, hey, my senior's back in with me, my classmate, and I ain't going to let him down. Scotty Shepard, who had to have 2 IV bags after the last game and didn't even get to play the 3rd and the 4th quarter. He's hydrated well, thanks for asking, and he's in on the play. 4:15, clock's rolling, and it's 2nd down and 10 still for the Bruins. No loss, they just get back to the line. Thrash and company trying to keep their aerial show going, not only against Shiloh, but at the Field of Champions. The Saints have got to be taking that personal. Good eyes there, Michael. They isolate him along the right, and then it's going to be a shallow slant route. Incomplete. Complete originally, but James Schisler knocks the feet out from under Rick Campbell, and now Shiloh's starting to play a little ball, Michael. Here's the question, is it too late? 3:51 left in the 2nd quarter, 27-7 PA, and these Shiloh fans, they like a challenge. Well, they've got one.
Well, that was, it was a great pass. It was right there, but his feet were taken out from under him, but also they had number 4, Quentin Jones, who's got a couple of touchdowns on the evening. He cut down underneath. If Thrash had seen him, he had a wide open football field.
3rd and 10 for the Bruins at their own 37-yard line. Shiloh stacking them on the line. Now they float back. No, here comes the blitz. Going long is Thrash. He's got a man. He throws it in, but incomplete. And breaking on the ball well was sophomore Brady Arthur, and going step for step was Carter. He went step for step that time with Miller, and it's going to bring up 4th down, and I would anticipate Coach Norwood punting for sure this time with the ball on his own 37, 4th and 10, 3:45 left, Michael. Now, this is an advantage play in PA. They're not going to get probably out of their game plan much. They're going to pass. Right. If they're incomplete, that clock is going to get long.
That's right. That's exactly right, Austin. Shiloh would love to go in down 27-14 at halftime.
Let's see. Thrash acts like he's going to punt. Shiloh keeps a man back at Schisler. Not a long punt, but it's low. Can Schisler get it? He's going to let it go, and wisely, because it takes a Saint bounce. It hit at the 30, bounded back 2 yards, and a PA guy jumped on it before it made any more damage to the Bruins. Shiloh will take over at their own 32-yard line with 3:36 left to play, and finally there's a little air of, hey, it's a football game out here at the Field of Champions.
Football, Austin. It's played on emotion. Little things can change it. You know, you've got Rhett Lashley coming into the game. You know, you've also got number 4, Wes Murphy, who cannot play, who's already accepted a scholarship from the University of Arkansas to play defensive end. He's the biggest cheerleader on that football field. He's running up and down the sideline.
Twins formation for Shiloh. Lashley is going to roll out right this time. He's going to be pressured. He just gets rid of it and throws it into the stands.
Nice catch by a fan over there as well.
If that is a bad arm, Michael, I want 2 specially ordered by Rhett Lashley there. He threw on the run, Mike, probably 40 yards in the air into the stands, and I'm sorry, buddy, that's not those cheerleader balls they throw at halftime. You're going to have to give that one back. 3:28 left to play in the first half. The Bruins lead 27-7, but it's good news for Shiloh Christian, actually, folks. As the Saints scored on their last possession, it's trips this time for Lashley and company. Shotgun formation, no one in the backfield. Lashley plenty of time. He throws back to Schisler, who dives out. Superman! Played in part tonight by James Schisler. Just near midfield, and Western Schisler is heating them up again at the Field of Champions. Michael, that senior, he only knows the catches that are impossible. Of course he makes the routine. That guy is incredible. Playmaker.
Pulaski came on a blitz, Austin, was picked up very nicely by that left side of the Saints. Looked like John Sabatini picked it up. Schisler was wide open. What a great pass and a wonderful catch.
Signed, sealed, delivered game of the week as a dandy. Shiloh releases that offensive line, and Nick Floyd gets nowhere, and the Bruins on the stop that time was Scott Landers. Mike, we've heard a lot about him, but that's a play that the Bruins actually know, because I'm sure it's in their offensive playbook as well. Shiloh's offensive line releases, lets the defense through, and then Nick Floyd's sitting there around the line of scrimmage and no one there, but Scott Landers stayed home.
Scott Landers did. You know, kid bench presses 340 pounds. He's one of the super team as an offensive tackle or offensive guard. Heady player.
Here we go with 2:48 left to play in the first half. Bruins up 27-7. 2nd and 10 for Shiloh at their own 47. Quick out, right flat. 2 Sellers juggling acrobatic catch. He makes it. He was down. Oh, they're going to give that to the Bruins. Ooh, Michael, he was actually seated. He actually hit the ground and bounced. Guys, let's cue that up in the production if we can and take a look at that, Michael. They ain't going to overturn that, but I believe that was a bad call. Up to this point, folks, we've just simply said Shiloh's getting beat, but that one looks like a tough call for the Saints.
Well, in actuality, Austin, Sellers really never had that ball. He was juggling it the whole time, so finally when he hit the ground, it was still loose. Tough call to make, and 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go.
Okay, do that again, guys, can you, after this next play? We'll try that one more time. I apologize. We'll do that one other time. I was looking down. I want to get the folks on Family 45 a good look at that as well. Thrash rolling out at his own 47. Right side throws incomplete. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 2:35, and that clock stops. Not very many seconds. Made it off that thing. Dan, if we can, right there, let's take a look at that, Michael. Him juggling, and we're going to roll it slow-mo, almost frame by frame. We can't right there. And right as he was hit and was headed down, that's interesting, guys. I can't really tell now that we look at the replay. It was close. They're rolling it back. Keep going, Dan. That's okay if we even see a few lines.
You really can't tell. You need a camera from that far side to see what happened when he turned on you, but could have gone either way.
Very interesting, Michael. Look at that. That was frame accurate. Good job there, Dano. Give up the middle to Green. He looks like Eric Dickerson. He's not only 29 by number, he looks like it there as well. Dances out of bounds after a 15-yard gain. He'll penetrate the Shiloh 40, and the ball will be dead at the 37 of Shiloh. He'll get out of bounds, and the clock will be dead at 2:25, and the Bruins lead 27-7. That was a big play, but after looking at it on replay, Michael, it was close enough that it wasn't a blown call, that it looked like horrible anyway. I'll say that.
Well, Green popping off that left side for pickup of 15 yards. He's got some great speed. Shiloh trying to strip the ball. He almost went the whole distance on that one.
Remember, Andrew Prey used to do a lot of that direct snap business with Shiloh in the backfield, and the Bruins learned that and doing it. Thrash goes upstairs. He's got a man, and it's almost picked off by Carter and then almost brought back in by Jones. And, folks, you're going to have to take a fly swatter out there when you try and defend Jones, because just knock it out, swat it in his face, because if you give him half a chance, he can come down with it, and now he's running on a bad wheel.
Yeah, he was there. He was by the defender. Carter made a nice adjustment to the football as the wind kind of held it up there. Looked like he could have had it.
2:18 left to play first half. A half been dominated by the Bruins of Pulaski Academy. They've got it 2nd 10 at the Shiloh 37. I'd look to see them run this ball a little bit here, Michael, and try and get this 2:18 off the clock. Or score. It's the direct snap again to Green. Green a pickup of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boy, he hits the hole quick.
Hard, doesn't he? A pickup of almost 5 for the sophomore. And Mike, it's poison one way or the other. Shiloh Christian made that play pretty well famous, and Gus Malzahn brought it to the state, that direct snap, as far as in recent memory. But you have to honor the pass. And Shiloh's having to do that, and Green is just too good of a back. Shiloh Christian doesn't have speed to probably match him, though he's probably only 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, he's not a real big kid, but boy, he's got a quick first step.
He does. Thrash in the backfield with Green. Shotgun, throws, left side, first down marker complete. Shiloh tries to knock him out of bounds. Carter does. And guess who? It's Jones, pickup of 12. 1:34 left to play first half. The Bruins lead right now 27-7. Since I've covered Shiloh, I've never seen them dominated like this in a first half. I've seen a different series and stuff where Shiloh's had trouble. There's a flag down. Illegal man downfield against Pulaski Academy, so Shiloh Christian catches a break there, and instead of a first down, it'll be deep against the Bruins. Well, Michael, you and I talked about it before the pregame. How are they going to react? And I said we'll probably know that within the first 2 series, just see how Shiloh's doing. And so far, and if we judge by the first 2 series, they went 3 and out.
Well, they realize they've got to come down and show the Saints they can keep it going here, because the Saints were going down to get this ball game within 2 touchdowns.
Kyle Casto playing some corner for Shiloh right now. 3rd and 10 at the 37 of Shiloh goes Thrash and company for the Bruins. Thrash rolling right. Sellers almost holding, not so. Pressured is Thrash. He throws it and knocked away, but it's going to be pass interference, I think, against Drew Tucker. Mike, to get position, I think he knocked off
he went right through the receiver. Yeah, it was Hilburn down there. He went ahead. He did not have position. Great pass thrown by Thrash as he got it to the outside. That was the position the receiver had. Tucker had only one choice, and that was to kind of time it perfectly. He ended up going right through the receiver, and that's going to be an automatic first down. That should march him inside on about the 26-yard line, 27-yard line of the Saints.
1:27 left to play in this first half. Half that has been sheerly dominated by Pulaski Academy. They lead right now 27-7.
22-yard line.
And they'll say the 22, Michael, and it's a first down for the Bruins. The Bruins have played well. Shiloh hasn't, and that equals a 20-point lead right now by the team from Little Rock, who is predicted by the coaches anyway to win the 5-3A for the 3rd consecutive year. They're 11-1 in that conference, folks, in the last 2 years. Reverse again, this time to Hilburn, left side. He's got to get past one guy. He tiptoes out of bounds after a gain of about 5-6 yards. And now the Bruins are wanting to stop the clock, Mike, because they're around the red zone of Shiloh Christian, and that should have penetrated the 20 that time with just about a minute 10 left to play. Minute 19, actually, for the Bruins.
Just a little reverse, and what they managed to do was seal Drew Samuelson to the inside. He was unable to make up that ground. He was totally blocked off, and about 4-yard pickup on it. But once again, all of a sudden you expect them to pass. They go ahead and hand something off, and they get some of that speed they've got going. They're tough to stop.
Thomas Thrash, quarterback, had 6 interceptions in last year's game. He's looked wonderful so far tonight. Saints would love to get one of those. Throws across the middle. Jones, first down yardage, and I think he got out of bounds to boot. Should have been just a pickup of 10 yards. And the Saint fans struggling to understand what's going on right now. But I haven't ever even heard of a team. I know some teams have played on a Saturday before and then turned it around on a Friday. But, Mike, very difficult for these young men. And not only one game, but possibly the game of the year. I mean, you just can't hide that. Everyone wanted to play Springdale.
Well,
they garnished almost, 20,000 fans there.
About 20,000, set a state record for attendance. Played at Reynolds Razorback Stadium, newly remodeled. Just a great evening for football, but they're paying a little bit of the price right now.
Shiloh gets back. The Bruins try one of Shiloh with a hard count. Does Thrash. He's under center. One back formation. It's a give. Gain of a yard, maybe 2. All they needed was a yard, and I think they got a first down at the 10-yard line. Let's see what Coach Norwood tries to do here. He's got a couple of timeouts left, and they'll move the chains and stop the clock with 1:06 left to play first half. The Bruins will have it first. Is it first and goal? No, Michael, it's actually first and 10 at about the 10-yard line, 2-inch line. So the Bruins can just get to the goal line without a first down. Trips to the right side. Thrash and company. He'll be about 5 yards off the ball. Deep shotgun. Thrash looking right. It's the comebacker on the right flat. Complete. It could be a touchdown. It is. Touchdown, Bruins. They set it up wonderfully to Blake Miller, Michael. He acted like he was going to run just a straight go route, Michael. He turned around, actually went behind the line of scrimmage, caught the ball, and that whole right side that was lined up in the trips formation turned into a wall of blockers, and Miller got in untouched, and it is now 33-7 Pulaski Academy.
Well, they flooded that right zone again, Austin. Not enough defenders back there. It looked like Miller, we'll have to take a look at the replay, but it looked like Miller took off a couple of yards down the field, and then he backed up, almost like on a screen type play. And what he did was, all of a sudden, by the time he received the ball, all the rest of the receivers that were
here we go, Michael. I'm sorry, 2-point conversion here. They're looking for it as Thrash. He's going to run it in. I think he could walk it in. No, Shiloh. Oh, can't stop him. Sellers tried, and I'm telling you, Michael, the game's edge is going to Pulaski Academy. They just seem to want it more right now. Shiloh Sellers wrapped him up about 1.5 yards out of the end zone, but Thrash literally fought his way in the point after. 2-point conversion is good, and Shiloh trails right now, folks, 35-7, and it's actually as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, they're being outplayed in a big way here tonight, Austin, as Pulaski jumped all over them. Shiloh had, of course, started with a sophomore quarterback, then went to a senior quarterback. And then Rhett Lashley finally convinced Coach Wood that he wanted back in the game, and he was able to do it, march the Saints down the field, and they got their first score of the evening, and they were down just 27-7 at that point, and got the ball back with a big defensive stand, marching down again, and then another turnover came up and reared its ugly head. Pulaski took it right back down the field, 35-7. Close to out of reach. We've been here before. We never say that, but
Shiloh had good emotions back in the quarterfinals, Michael. They were playing their kind of game still. The Saints don't act like they want to be on the field right now. PA with the kick. It's going to be returned around the 10. Shiloh with the star burst. Give to Nick Floyd. Nick back up the middle of the field. He's got running room, 15 yards. He's going to try and reverse. He does. He's going after the kicker at the 45-yard line of Shiloh. A pickup of around 30 yards for the Saints, but there's a late flag thrown. And it's going to be probably a face mask, 5-yard variety against the Bruins, it looks like. They do call it inadvertent. Let's see if it is. If it's inadvertent, it's only 5 yards, I believe, Michael. And that's all they're going to give us, 5. But it puts it at midfield for Shiloh Christian. So the Saints will get probably the final possession here of the first half. With just 31 seconds left, they'll have their 8th possession, Michael, of tonight's game. Their 8th possession, and they have 7 first downs to show for it and 7 points. Best field position for Shiloh Christian tonight, too, Michael, and the ball is just on midfield. Trips to the right side for Rhett Lashley and company. Yes, he's still in the game. Ball on the left hash mark. Lashley shotgun, looking right, plenty of time. Drew Samuelson gives him time to find Drew Tucker, who is knocked out of bounds. They say roll the clock, so the Saints will probably, I don't know if they'll have to burn a timeout or not. It's at the 30-yard line of PA, so they'll have to move the chains quite a bit. And Danny Garrison is not fleet-footed, Michael, so that's one advantage to having that old guy on the chain crew. Shiloh's got probably 3 minutes to huddle up.
I didn't say that.
Shiloh Christian's going to spike the ball is Rhett Lashley, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10 at the PA 30-yard line with 17 seconds left for Shiloh Christian. And not only are the Bruins going to play prevent defense, Michael, but Quentin Jones is their safety valve.
Yeah, and he's got a tremendous amount of speed, which means if somebody does get burnt, he's back there. He can make up that distance short quickly.
Quads to the left side, and that's where Shiloh has a lot of real estate to work with. Lashley, the only back in the backfield. He's going to be pressured. He evades him, just slithers out of it. He's got a man open across the field, and that's Luke Emmert. Luke Emmert says, I thought I was James Schisler. He makes a fingertip catch inside the 15, and the Saints are going to burn a timeout. Let's take a 1-minute break, Mike, with 9 seconds left in the first half. We come back. 35-7, Shiloh Christian trails, but they're trying to score back after this. TV. And back at the Field of Champions, Shiloh Christian getting set to go with 9 seconds left. It's 1st and 10 for the Saints at the 13 of PA. Shiloh Christian's Lashley is in shotgun, trips to the right side, 1st and 10 at the 13, and Lashley's going to be taken down. And guess who? It is Landers. I believe, let me check that number. No, Michael, that is Harmon, Shane Harmon, the senior, and he will take Lashley down, and Chris Wood's going to have to burn another timeout. We'll keep it right here with only 4 seconds left in this first half. Michael, can the Saints get off 2 plays? It'll be very interesting. And they're going to send J.D. Weathers in, Michael, right now. And the ball will be spotted at the 21, a 31-yard kick for J.D. Weathers. He missed one from about this distance Monday night. Of course, those were trying to go through college uprights.
That's right, and didn't miss it by much, Austin. That would have played a big part of the football game. And, of course, he's got his set man down there is not the quarterback, so don't look for a lot of trickery right now, Austin. JD's going to try to put it through on about the 26-yard line, which makes it a
36. I'm sorry, Michael. I had that off. I think I said 31. Good hold. It's going to be off to the right, it looks like. Did it sneak in? I think it did.
Yep.
Point out, the field goal is good, and Shiloh has a little momentum going to the locker room, Michael. After the first half, Pulaski Academy leads. Get this, folks, 35-10. When we come back, we'll have your signed, sealed, delivered halftime report on radio and the internet. And, of course, television fans come back to start the third quarter. That's all after this short break. Probably give me that during radio. You don't want to. 5 seconds. Back at the signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week. Austin Bivens along with Mike Morgan. And it's going to be interesting here as we get set for the third quarter. Shiloh Christian getting set to receive, though they had 8 possessions in that first half and put up 10 points, folks. We'll see who Coach Chris Wood goes with to start the second half. He ended with a very injured Rhett Lashley. We'll see who he starts with.
Well, Lashley looked pretty good, Austin. If he did not get tight at halftime, they're going to bring him out.
Here's the kick. Nick Floyd around the 5. He fields it, gets a good wall of blockers from Schisler. He's out at the 30, 32-yard line, and he's going to be taken down by Green. And between Green and Jones, Michael, I think those two could put up quite a 4x100 relay team, just the two of them.
You bet. And Lashley is back in the game, Austin. He was in for 3 series. One was resulted in a Mike Sellers fumble and a turnover, but the other 2, he drove him down for a touchdown and got him in with a field goal, a 35-yard field goal just before the half.
Ball is marked on the right hash mark, and Shiloh will go trips to that short side. They'll have Schisler out wide left. Sellers flanked just inside of him. Sellers crossing right, juggling, he catches it at the 40. He caught it and then gets his way to the 46-yard line, and Michael, I said that about Chris Wood last week, but Mike Sellers is a lot like that. He's not scared of much, and I think he'd fight a circular saw. That'd make good for pay-per-view.
Well, he's just settled down a little bit because he's bobbling the ball a little bit. That time he held on to it, but the pass was right there. Great catch by Sellers.
Same formation, almost identical play, but the Saints are up the field about 12 more yards. Lashley looks, fires, throws just about a quarter of a step behind the senior, 6'1", James Schisler. They actually have him listed at 6'2", 185 pounds. He comes into tonight's game, Michael, leading the Saints in all receiving statistics except for touchdowns caught in the air. Of course, I guess if you catch him off the bounce, that wouldn't be a touchdown, would it, folks? It's been a long week for me too, Mike. 11:36 left to play, third quarter. It's 2nd and 10 for Shiloh at their own 46. They release. It's the dump pass to Nick Floyd. Floyd a couple of yards, maybe 3, and that play just didn't working right now for the Saints. Maybe about a long 4, short 5 for Shiloh.
Not much room, but it's starting to spread out a little bit as you got that arm of Rhett Lashley, and they know that he can go downfield deep. And what's happening is the defensive backs and the linebackers are respecting that arm strength. Middle's opening up.
3rd and 4, they have it listed for Shiloh at the Bruin 48. The Bruins are showing blitz with Landers. Landers drops back. Lashley drops, throws complete. Oh, Luke Emmert takes a shot and just keeps on ticking. Call him Timex. He's rolling. 15-yard pickup for the sophomore, and it's going to be a first down, and Shiloh penetrating again. Last time they were this deep in Bruin territory, Michael, a controversial call on a fumble on to Sellers or Drew Tucker, they called it, Drew Tucker, and they gave the ball to the Bruins. Shiloh's second first down of this second half. Lashley rolls right, pumps once, throws again, throws the floater to Sellers. Sellers missed it, but Mike, at the last second, it was knocked away by Blake Miller, and I actually thought that Miller had a beat on it and intercepted it. He kind of waved his arms, and it just knocked Sellers off
almost
enough.
Almost managed to get it. Now, you may see him go back to this. Now, I'm looking at James Schisler, and he's limping, Austin, but he was open over the middle. Sellers is drawing a lot of coverage right now, and he was wide open in the middle of the football field there. You may see a same type of play.
10:48 left to play, third quarter. Bruins up 35-10. Shiloh 2nd and 10. Lashley looks over the middle, throws incomplete, and it was complete for a second, but coming up and pumping it to the crowd is Peter Wise, and Wise with a big hit for the Bruins, and it is going to bring up third down. They're calling him Weiss over the PA. Weiss, Wise. The PA fans know what his name is, and they know him quite well.
That's right.
It's going to be 3rd and 10 at the Bruin 38-yard line. Shiloh will line up in trips to the left side. Lashley shotgun. He's going to be pressured. He's going to have to step up. He throws. He's just going to throw it away, and it looks like the punt, pass, and kick contest at the Field of Champions. Lashley threw it in the air, Mike, 45, almost 50 yards. He threw it from the 40, and it went to the goal post. If he's hurting, the long ball's not bothering him, and quite frankly, that's the best spiral I've seen him throw.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass, Austin. He's just getting rid of it, but he did throw it an awful long way if you're thinking about protecting your arm. But when you're on the field of play, you're under fire, that adrenaline takes over, and smart play just to get rid of it. 4th down and 10.
Here we go, Michael. They are. That's what I was going to say. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Shiloh Christian having to quickly do a little equipment. Sean Hyde, it looks like. Shoe tied. Shiloh Christian's going to try and get back in this game. 4th and 10 at the 38 of PA. Lashley.
Schisler over the middle. There he is.
He's going to be hit. Lashley evades one tackler, throws it. It's complete to Schisler on the crossing route. Inside the 20-yard line, wrestled down at the 18 by Quentin Jones. And Michael, the offensive line, it's just like they know their main man's in there, and they're buying all the time they can. And Lashley, just Houdini-esque. He just evades through, disappears, and comes back to life. It's unbelievable what Lashley can do back in that pocket to buy time.
Well, Schisler was open early on, and Lashley managed to just shed a linebacker all over him. Schisler popped open again. Pickup of just about 20 yards on the play.
Clock's rolling, 10:15 left to play, third quarter. Bruins up 35-10. 1st and 10 for Shiloh at the PA 18. Lashley, plenty of time. Thomas, good. Thomas did a great job on the offensive line that time to allow Lashley more time. Lashley can't find anything. Wisely throws it into the end zone incomplete, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10. But Michael Lashley already having an easier go of it with a bad arm than he did in the first half of the Springdale game.
That's right. He's getting a little bit more time, but the football field is much more spread. These receivers are able to run some better routes and get open.
They've got Schisler out wide right, that right hash mark, and the ball spotted at the left hash. Lashley pumps right. Now he throws to Sellers' way. Sellers crossed up the defender and can't get free quick enough, and that ball was thrown a little long, but Michael, Sellers tied in a knot John Aaron Reese, and Reese didn't know where he's coming or going. That was the old pretzel. I mean, he turned completely around, and Sellers had about 5 yards free, but Saints can't come up with a completed pass. It's 3rd and 10 at the PA 18.
Well, they're trying to get it all in big chunks here, Austin, and you know, Sellers, once again, he caught a touchdown pass 2 weeks ago, just like that, in the corner of the end zone.
Rhett Lashley and company going trips to the right side. Lashley plenty of time over the middle. He's got a man incomplete, and now it's going to be picked off. Shiloh, Michael, just when they get something going, they do something like that, and that's not even like, that's not like bonehead or anything like that.
No,
that just happened. It bounced off the shoulder pads.
It hit Nick Floyd and let that ball get a little in too tight on him. Didn't keep it out in the hands. It hit the shoulder pads and bounced straight up in the air. Jones was right there for the interception. That foils another shallow drive. When you're down 35-10, you can't afford to do that too many times.
Michael, indeed you can, and eventually, and we've talked about emotions and psyche, this has got to wear more on Shiloh's mind, a mind that they probably didn't have a lot in the game to begin with, and you got to wonder how much is even in that tank for Shiloh Christian. It'll be 1st and 10 for PA. They enjoy a 25-point lead. They have the ball, their worst field position of the night, but it hadn't seemed to matter much tonight. They've got it at their own 11. One back formation. They fake the hand. A couple of Saints bite on it. They're going on a streak route, and it is complete. Goodbye, goodbye. You're not going to catch him. He is falling away from the Shiloh would-be defenders. It's Miller, and Michael, that might have just done it. 41-10 now. Pulaski Academy throws an 89-yard touchdown strike. I've never, since the time we've covered them, never seen Shiloh Christian do this, Mike. I've just never seen it.
They got beat, Austin. You know, Pulaski Academy, they weren't happy to sit on the football, maybe run 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. You know, obviously the score is in their favor. Now it's just a matter of time, and they went right after it. And Miller got a step on Carter, and nobody on the Saints is going to catch him. He's pretty fleet of foot, and 89 yards later, 41-0. They're looking to tack on the extra point right here.
Point after is up. And it is good. Wow. And maybe at this time, Mike, you start looking to next week and wonder if you're going to keep Rhett Lashley in the game, Michael, with the way he's feeling already. Do you chance it trailing right now 42-10 in the third quarter?
I think you're absolutely right, although you come under a lot of criticism if it looks like you're giving up the football game at that point. You know, Rhett Lashley is never going to want to come out of the game. Heck, he had to practically he did everything he could to convince Coach Wood to get into the football game, but 42-10, that's a 32-point deficit if my addition is correct, and that's a lot to make up in one half of football.
A lot of questions being asked right now for Shiloh Christian. What can they do to try and somewhat get back in this game? At this point, Mike, they've got to just start looking, and we've never even had to say something like this. They've got to just start trying to look to get better for next week when conference begins. 9:38 left to play in this third quarter, and the Bruins lead 42-10. And Shiloh Christian, they better do something. They're going to come in their house and put 50 on the board. Butenshow set to kick away. He's done a lot of that tonight, and it could go out of bounds. It does, or does it bounce over the pylon? Nope, it goes out of bounds, and so Shiloh will get good position with the penalty after the ball going out of bounds. 9:38 left to play. No time goes off the clock. Shiloh Christian at least needs that. We'll wait and see who the Saints are going to bring in. It looks like Lashley is going to stay at the helm for the Saints. And Mike, he's looked pretty good, especially for a bum shoulder and all, but twice he's been marching the Saints down. First time they had the fumble, and now this time an interception.
Yeah, Lashley's doing everything he can.
That's right.
People have just got to hold on to the football, and, you know, sometimes that's going to happen. Unfortunately, they just don't have that luxury. They cannot make a mistake, and they've made 2 of them.
Indeed they have, Michael. So the Saints will get the ball, their second possession of this second half. First time at their own 34, this time at the 35. Showing blitz is Landers. Now he bounces back. Lashley going long. He's got Schisler, waits for the ball, and Schisler is going to go out of bounds at the 31-yard line of Pulaski Academy. That is the largest pickup by air, Mike, for Shiloh Christian this season, a 33-yard reception.
Beautifully thrown ball as they were playing Schisler, very soft on the right side. He split all the way out to the right, really a fly pattern down the field. Got behind the defender. Very nicely executed.
Fly pattern, and he's got fly paper, Mike, for hands. He just doesn't seem to drop it. 1st and 10 at the PA 31. Here they come from the blind side, and wisely. Lashley playing very smart, Michael, right now. He didn't try and do anything spectacular. He was almost in their grasp, and he just got rid of it, threw it at the feet of Drew Tucker. Brings up 2nd and 10 now for Shiloh Christian at the PA 31. 9:26 left to play in the third quarter, and Pulaski Academy leading right now, folks. Get this, 42-10 against Shiloh at the Field of Champions. Whistle, flags, They will stop the play before it begins. And I don't know if the guys down the truck know that. We can't actually see it, guys, right now. If you are playing a replay, we've lost reception up here. But folks, remember that each and every Saturday night that you can catch Shiloh Christian football, usually at 6 o'clock. And this Saturday, of course, if you're on TV right now, it's too late. But the St. Springdale game began at 3 o'clock on the 15th, Saturday the 15th. And then this game with PA immediately following at 6 o'clock. Lashley shotgun, a little quick flare out, left flat to Nick Floyd. He tries to pick up a couple of blockers, jumps back between them, and pick up a 4 yards. It was 2nd and 4. That'll be just enough to move the chains.
Nice job out there by, what was that, Luke Emmert out in front of him, did a nice job of clearing a path.
There we go, we can
took
see
advantage
that.
of it.
You
Cut
betcha.
it back to the inside. Gives them a much-needed first down, 1st and 10, just inside the Bruin 20-yard line.
You can see on the Family 45 side there, folks, Shiloh Christian getting real close as they have the ball at the Bruin 20-yard line, 1st and 10, 9-10 left to play third quarter. Lashley looking, lightly pressured, steps up in the pocket, throws a rocket to Sellers, touchdown Shiloh.
Wow.
Oh, storm shot, Sellers blows into the south end zone, and Michael, he was pancake hammered. Oh, they hit him hard, did Miller and Jones, but some way Sellers held on to it from 20 yards out, and Lashley hits on a bullet.
Wow.
Sellers, Mike, his arm looks fabulous.
Oh, that was as well a thrown ball as I've seen all year. That was, he dropped back about 7 yards and threw that 27 yards on a rope.
And Mike, they're going to start going for 2 here, trying to get them back in 2s. It's going to be trips to the right side. Now they'll send Sellers in motion to make it quads to that right side. Lashley looks like he's changing the signal. He'll audible Schisler in a couple of steps, and Shiloh doesn't get the right play. Wow.
Yeah.
And they are going to be whistled for offsides, and that could change the complexion of the play calling for Shiloh now.
Well, they're trying to get this score to 18, Austin, but it just gives them a few more yards. Actually gives them a little bit more room to operate on a pass play, as you can run a little deeper patterns in the end zone. Not everybody's bunched up on the front line, but also in the center of the football field, so Lashley's got plenty of room.
Here they go, Michael, around the 7.5-yard line after the 5 yards is assessed. Lashley, he's got 15 seconds on the play clock. Looks like they're having trouble getting the play in. Coach Wood sends it in. Lashley's going to yell at it to his teammates, trips to the right side. It makes Jones back up a couple of steps in the secondary. Lashley's pressured again. He's going back all the way to the 25-yard line, buys some time, throws across his body, incomplete, just over the head and hands of Luke Emmert. He actually had 2 receivers there, Mike, and I'm not sure if he was trying to throw to Schisler, who was on kind of a drag pattern from left to right. Incomplete. Take a look at, though, Mike, the thing that got him in the end zone for 6 points on Family 45.
Lashley dropped back about the 25-yard line, just threw a bullet. What a beautiful catch by Sellers there. Caught it up high, took a hit, managed to hold on to it, and Sellers is getting his head in the football game right now, Austin.
Michael, Shiloh Christian only took 34 seconds off the clock that time and traveled 65 yards, but we haven't seen this all year. Didn't see it back in the state championship game, actually. A pass over 20-25 yards. That one to Schisler that really set the tone for that series, 33 yards. That made the difference.
Well, the defense has got to have to answer the call, Austin. A couple of turnovers have hurt him. Otherwise, you get the feeling Lashley would have taken him in for 4 quick scores.
That's true. You're right.
In no time. Lashley's done his job, Austin. 42-16. This defense has just got to contain him. And what they're doing is they're giving up just big, big plays. Against Wynn, they did that early in week 1, but those were, that was an all-state running back with 4.35 speed.
Yeah, you don't expect it here. Pooch kick again. PA doesn't call for the fair catch. They actually take a knee, though, instead. A little more dangerous. Not really. Just another thing you got to remember to do after you catch it. 28-yard line of Pulaski Academy is where the Bruins will get their 10th position of tonight's game, their second in the second half. Pulaski Academy, Mike, has pretty well made it look easy. They've punted a couple of times, but the rest of the time it's been scores, and scores on one play. They scored on the first play of their first possession, and now on the last one, which was number 9. Shiloh Christian, Michael, here's another thing. They've not surrendered the ball to PA in Shiloh territory. The Bruins have earned it tonight on the offensive side. Shiloh Christian Freezing at his linebacker, acting like he's going to blitz a little bit, standing over the nose guard. Now he's going to fall back. It's going to be the double reverse, and Shiloh missed him. It was Quentin Jones, and boy, they better grab him. Good stop by Schisler. And Mike, that guy could just quickly weave an Indian blanket through the Shiloh defense. That guy is that quick.
Well, that was it was a double reverse, but it was a double inside reverses. It was laterals, 2 of them, and then Jones cutting right back off a right guard there, but Shiloh was pretty confused by the time he got the football, just about 10 yards. Matter of fact, they're going to go ahead and call timeout here, bring the sticks out.
8:46 left to play, third quarter. Third quarter that's actually really started to slow here. The Bruins lead 42-16, and they've got it second down and a few inches. The guy says about a foot is what he is marking and showing us up here. But Michael, even though a lot of teams are playing this passing offense, Shiloh Christian's down 26 right now, Mike. For those mathematicians at home, probably a step ahead of us. But even with PA passing the way they have, I haven't really seen too many teams that have the frantic style of offense that Shiloh has become known to. But really, so far, Shiloh struggled in these first couple of games to set the pace.
Well, yeah, I agree. And, of course, Shiloh has changed the face of high school football in Arkansas. How many teams are running the spread offense right now? It's going all over the place, and you can run up some points pretty quickly, and it's just kind of caught up to the Saints.
Second down and just about a foot for the Bruins. One back formation. It's kind of a half option, and it is going to be a first down left side. It's kind of like an option, except he doesn't pitch it. He just kind of tosses it. Thrash did, and it was about a 3-yard gain, complete to Matt Stoltz. That'll be a pass and a completion and a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards, but enough for a first down, and PA will move the chains. Ball at their own 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Michael, they've done it in a lot of different ways, have the Bruins
sure
tonight.
They've really showed a lot of versatility with their offense.
And not very many first downs, Mike. They've only got about 9 or 10 right now because they've had 2 touchdowns on 1 throw in a series. Thrash shotgun, trips to the right side. He'll roll that way. He's looking that way. He gets hit just as he throws, and it's going to be still complete. Is that caught? Wow.
I think it was.
My goodness, they're catching everything. That is Bradshaw, Mike. We haven't even called his name so far tonight. A junior, Rob Bradshaw, and PA, they're littered with juniors and even a couple of sophomores like Green that's making a difference. Hilburn, I believe, is even a sophomore.
Well, that offensive line is doing a pretty good job of keeping these Saints off. There's a lot of grabbing going on there, but you can grab as long as you can get away with it, and that's how you play offensive linemen these days. There's a lot of hands, not as opposed to the old days when you played, Austin.
Old days, yeah, back when and you played before that with the leather helmet. I do remember that, right? I saw it on the mantle. Shiloh Christian trying to manhandle Thrash is a quarterback keeper. Really the first time he's tried to keep tonight. And actually, that's not him, Michael. That was to Stoltz. Did they have him lined up back there? Direct snap, indeed it was again. They've run that a lot. Michael, Shiloh ran that 3 or 4 years ago. We didn't see it much the last couple of years, but PA has made some gravy with that tonight again. Really, everything they've done's been right.
They have really kept the Saints on their heels, Austin. We've said that over and over again, but now
true.
they've got doubles, twins, really, on both sides.
That's right, and they're stacked up behind each other. They fake that little hidden handoff. Thrash all day and then some to throw. Now you roll left, and it's complete for a pickup of 4 yards, but why wouldn't it be? My goodness, he had all kinds of time, and he finds Campbell, who's already got a touchdown reception. Drew Samuelson will take him down, but not before a gain of 4, but there's going to be holding this time.
They finally got him there. You can see the frustration, particularly on Chris Hill and Drew Samuelson's, just their action out there. They're pushing. Even as they start to break loose, they are getting kind of grabbed from behind there, and Pulaski's taking what the officials are giving him. Of course, that time it's a 10-yard penalty from the point of the infraction, so that'll bring up second down.
About 22.
About 22 yards.
Indeed. 7:13 left to play in this third quarter. Pulaski Academy leads right now 42-16. That's a 26-point advantage. And they've got it now 2nd and 22. Ball at their own 46-yard line. So a big penalty assessed to the crew from the capital city. Thrash, shotgun, his crew in trips formation. He rolls out a lot right. He pumps right. He's throwing and going on a go route. Shiloh never saw it. And at the last minute, it was Will Flowers trying to knock on Miller, but it was past Miller. He couldn't come up with it. But, Mike, what I have noticed about PA, they're throwing a lot of go routes. A little hitch in Thrash, and then he draws back, and they're throwing 30, 40, 50-yard bombs that we used to see from Shiloh 3-4 years ago.
Well, they're getting him out to the side. They're doing a good job of getting the quarterback out so he can see over the line. Good fan blocking by the offensive line. Maybe a fake or a pump, and then letting them go, and they're getting these receivers open. And Shiloh's trying all kinds of combinations. You got Will Flowers in there now.
Well, and they've got Drew Samuelson out here trying to cover a receiver, Michael. He's going to go with him right now. He did that well last week. And throwing complete over the middle. It's going to be a pickup of about 13, but that's still not a first down because it was 3rd down and 22. But that's complete to Miller again. These guys are making the great catches too, folks. I mean, Thrash is not a bad quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he's not put them all on the numbers. His guys have caught about everything.
They're running good routes. They're getting good inside position or outside position on the defender, and Thrash is putting it to the inside of the outside shoulder, Austin. So great timing, great combination. It shows what a senior quarterback can do. And he's doing it tonight.
Here we go, 4th and 9 for the Bruins. Watch Shiloh offsides if they try and jump him. They don't. Thrash rolling left. He's pumping. He's got him. He's got Jones, and Jones complete at the 15, at the 12. He stumbles. He catches his balance. Touchdown, Bruins. Their 2nd touchdown of the night on 4th down. And this one, the ball was spotted at the Shiloh 42-yard line. And, Michael, that's been the story in a nutshell right there, folks.
Well, looked like they were going to contain him, and then Jones comes back and breaks one loose, Austin. 42 yards and a touchdown. That young man's got 7 catches, 3 touchdowns, and 192 yards in receptions, and we've got 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. But you saw it coming. You could see it set up, and you could see the pass floating in there. Shiloh just unable to keep up with these quick receivers.
I can see the headlines in tomorrow's papers forming already. The point after, the official says good. 5:58 left to play in the 3rd quarter, and Pulaski Academy leads. Get this, folks, 49-16. They're not only beating Shiloh at home, they've put up 49 points in doing it. And this, if this doesn't wake up Shiloh Christian, Michael, they might not be only asleep. They might not have a pulse, because that's surely got to stir them.
Well, we have not seen this happen, Austin, in the 5 years that we've been covering Shiloh football. However, they play the games on the field, and, you know, anything can happen at the high school level. Pulaski Academy has got an excellent football team. They caught Shiloh in a night when they were maybe a bit tired, thinking they could come in here and just, based on reputation and experience, gut it out. But they jumped all over the Saints early on, ran up a big lead. Now Shiloh's taking some chances to try to get the ball, and Pulaski continues to play their style of football, wide open football. They're burning them again.
And about the time Shiloh moves the ball, Mike, they're having a fumble, or the last one an interception that you hate to even credit to Rhett Lashley's stats. And now that puts him with 6 touchdown passes, and 7 interceptions on the season. That is going to be Floyd picking it up at the 15 and going to make his way around the right sideline to about the 26-yard line of the Field of Champions. And, Mike, right now, Pulaski Academy having their way. This is almost a home game to them.
This is a big surprise, too, in that, you know, once again, we talk about 7-on-7 for the folks who don't understand it. That's how these teams compete during the summer months.
Kind of like flag football, if you will.
It's kind of like flag football, but it's all passing. And I was listening to Hootens this afternoon. They talked about favoring Shiloh. A, they're at home, and B, they played a Springdale team that runs a spread offense last week, and they did pretty well. Played great defense out there. Only gave up 14 points on the offensive side.
Here we go. Trips formation to the left side. Lashley looking. He's going long this time. He's got a wide open Sellers at the 35, at the 40, and Sellers is going to fumble it, and then he picks it up. Now they're going to say it could be.
I think they're saying he was down.
They're going to let Shiloh get that one. But that's, I'll tell you, Mike, that one could have went either way. Sellers, when he was falling, they're going to say the ground caused the fumble, the jar of the ground, and that would be a fumble. But, boy, if that had been a fumble on Shiloh after getting the ball all the way to the PA 30, wow, that would have been difficult for Shiloh to swallow. That's a 64-yard completion for Rhett Lashley to
Beautifully
Mike
thrown
Sellers.
ball right on the money. Lashley's doing everything he can. They just got to hold on to the football.
He's throwing some great long passes, Mike, that he hasn't got to throw all year. Lashley across the middle, complete, and it is to Luke Emmert, the sophomore, and right there to congratulate him is Wes Murphy. Boy, you know Wes Murphy would like to get out there even with just his shirt on and no pads. He wants to play. Shiloh would like to have him. The ball at the 15-yard line, and it looks like that Landers is getting cramps or a bad knee right now around the 33.
Of course, Lashley's the first guy to him out there, and he's going ahead and lifting his leg and helping him out with his cramps. Also, Nick Floyd is back there. We saw that during game one with D'Angelo Williams from Wynn, who started to cramp up after, of course, he ran for about 210 yards.
You would think you'd have a cramp or two, wouldn't you? While they've got the injured player down on the field, let's take a look at that, Michael. As Rhett Lashley.
Pass from Lashley.
Look at that. Here we go. Very slow as we're watching on the replay.
And you can see here, now he's got the ball. He's taken 2 steps.
Ooh,
now
that might have been,
loose.
Was that an incomplete pass?
No, that was a reception, but that was
That's
a fumble. Now, what Sellers doesn't do, he doesn't come back to the ball real quick. He kind of lets it sit there in
Keep
between his
rolling,
legs.
guys.
That ball's loose. Maybe he gets a hand on it. Once he gets a hand on it,
might have missed that one.
Yep, might have missed that one. I tell you what, though, at 49-16, sometimes the officials they even show a little mercy.
Well, and I tell you what, after the other close one that we had against Tucker, that really looked like that he was down originally. But I tell you what, those officials do a very good job when you think about it. They're not full-timers, that kind of deal. They all have full-time jobs, and they don't do a bad job on a consistent basis anyway. 5:28 left to play in the third quarter, and the Bruins lead right now 49-16. I can just hear a lot of folks going, you can't say a
I
ref
thought you
does
started
good.
out to compliment him, but not doing a bad job on a consistent basis. I guess that's kind of a backhanded compliment.
How can you? They're refs still, though, Mike. I mean,
right.
you know, you can't just
understand.
continuously.
I understand.
Folks will think we're too soft. 5:28 left to play, third quarter. The Bruins leading 49-16, but the Saints have it 1st and 10 at the PA 16-yard line. Shiloh Christian doesn't want to look soft here. They want to try and punch this thing in, show a little grit. Lashley back to pass, got a man wide open. Curl route coming back forward, just really a button hook. Turn around, waiting for it at the 10 looks like it's Tucker, and it's a pickup of about 4, maybe 5 yards.
Clock is running under 5 minutes and 10 seconds now to go in the third period. 49-16.
Lashley, you just think they go no huddle. Lashley's going to send Sellers in motion from left to right, or that's actually Savage. Slant route, touchdown Shiloh. James Schisler. You betcha, from 10 yards out, and Shiloh gets back on the board. And the Saints defensive coordinator begging his guys, saying, let's play some here, guys. Let's hold them and see what we can do. And I think at this stage,
they're sending JD
you
out.
bet you they are.
Yeah, they're going to go for one. Get it to 23, 49-23. But what a great pattern run by Schisler there, Austin, is they had Sellers and Schisler split to the right side. Sellers took the outside route. Schisler just found that little seam there, and Lashley threw a bullet in there. And I tell you what, Lashley is throwing the ball better tonight than he has all year.
J.D. Weathers, all he does is puts on his kick and shoe and goes to work. 4:47 left to play. The point after makes it 23-49. Pulaski Academy leading right now, and it's another slugfest. But at this stage, of course, the Bruins are more than happy to exchange touchdowns with Shiloh Christian. Unless they were picked by prognosticators in Central Arkansas, Michael, I was nervous about the game just from an emotional standpoint, but I didn't see anything in the paper. Everyone was still going with Shiloh, and for good reason. But PA has come out and really proved something so far tonight.
They really have. They've got pretty good speed. We talked about that Springdale game last week as Jushan Cooper, a state 100-meter runner or a track runner, and just some great speed, and they tried to get the ball in his hands all night. Shiloh was respectful of that speed, found themselves in the right position with the right number of bodies out there. They were really never burnt deep for any touchdowns, and now they come against another spread offense, but they have been burnt time after time tonight, but they pull themselves within 26 points.
Last year, Michael, I know you can't live in the past, but oh, what a difference 365 days makes. Shiloh caused the 9 turnovers and held Pulaski Academy to minus 13 yards rushing. And J.D. Weathers is going to kick that one out of bounds around the 13-yard line, and I think Pulaski Academy will be happy to receive that. You know you can get them to re-kick that, and we saw Charleston do that a few times last year, but Pulaski Academy is going to be more than happy to take that ball over around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, not bad field position there. I think J.D. wanted to get that a little bit closer to the hash mark, see if he can get some type of a turnover. Actually, Austin, they score again. Once you get into that fourth quarter down 26, you got to start thinking about an onside kick or maybe something a little more creative to get a turnover.
Shiloh Christian's defense just going to have to make a stop. They've been lit up for 49 points, and these have not been on turnovers near their goal line. The Bruins have literally marched 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 yards. Comebacker right flat again to the receivers, and it's going to be a first down near for Pulaski Academy. And, Mike, they're running a lot of what Harding Academy did back when they had Jeff Huckabee and those guys, and they ran like that. They had a kid there for a Pulaski Academy that they'd give that to him, Spence Reese or Reese Spence, something like that on that right flat, and then he would just run like a buzzsaw out
just
through there, legs going everywhere,
That's right.
and that guy did that, and it's a first down.
Well, they've really spread the football field. Shiloh's got to respect them deep because they've been burnt so many times. And in this spread offense, they give Thrash all this time, the offensive line does, and he just dumps the ball off. Everybody's downfield.
And at this stage, Pulaski Academy doesn't think they can do anything wrong. And to prove the point, Thrash, who's not the swiftest foot out there, is going to pick up 3.5 yards on a quarterback draw. Okay. 4:10, clock is rolling at your signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week here. The first home game for Shiloh Christian this year, Mike, as far as literally home, though at their first two, they've been listed on the scoreboard as the home team. But week one was the kickoff classic down at Quigley Field at Central. And in this past Monday night, Shiloh against Springdale, they were the home team at Razorback. Thrash and company trips to that left side again, and watch for Jones. He's flanked inside. Thrash rolling left. He finds complete again, sneaking out again as a receiver at the 30. He picks up a downfield block. He's at the 20. He's at the 14-yard line. And, Mike, they can't do a thing wrong. That is routing, and the route ton is on, Mike.
Well, Robert Mailer finally had to make a tackle on that as there's some excellent downfield blocking. But you're right, Austin. Quentin Jones, he drew a lot of attention down there. He's pulling a couple of defenders over there, and then they're just going right underneath him. And the vacuum that he creates is where they're hitting these receivers, and then they're making good runs. They're doing what Shiloh's game has been, get downfield and then start getting some blocks set up and spring these receivers, and that's what they're doing.
3:25, third quarter, clock is rolling. Bruins 49, Shiloh 23. Pulaski does the direct snap again. It's a first down and then some, and Mike, they're just going right to the middle of the Shiloh defense and running right over them right now, and that is a near first down for Stoltz again.
Yep, just a direct snap when all of a sudden you're a little bit tired, you're back on your heels. Quick snap to Stoltz there. He runs right up the gut, picked up almost 9 yards on the play, brings him well inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 7. Second down.
Well, Mike, this is the most difficult schedule Shiloh has ever had, and right now it's kind of biting them. And that's why a lot of times you've got to be real cautious about things like that. They fake the handoff, do the Bruins, looking out along the right flat. That is Jones. One of the first catches he's not made. It wasn't right on the money, but we've seen him make those catches tonight. It'll bring up third down and a full one for the Bruins. Ball spotted on the Shiloh 7-yard line. 2:38 left to play in this third quarter, and the Bruins leading 49-23. Shiloh Christian in action again a week from tonight here at the Field of Champions against the Blackhawks of Pea Ridge. They open conference play.
Good football team, Austin.
Very good.
They were 2-0 coming in tonight's game and looking pretty solid as well.
Thrash under center, one-back formation. They're going to give to him this time, and that is Stoltz. And Thrash, with the early indication, says it's a first down. And if so, he and his Bruins will get 4 cracks around the 5-yard line of Shiloh Christian. And, Mike, sometimes once you give team that confidence, it's almost impossible. Let's take a quick timeout right now on TV only. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back right after this on Family 45. Mike, we're going to keep it right here on. Back on Family 45. The Bruins do get the first down as they bring the chain crew in, so it's first and goal for PA at the Shiloh 6. Thrash rolling right. He's got a man wide open. Corner of the end zone. Touchdown, PA. They have put over 50 points on Shiloh Christian at home.
Well,
wow, Blake Miller, and it has been Miller all night. He and Thrash, Jones peppered in there as well, and really anyone else that Coach Norwood wants to score, if he wants to put them in there right now, it seems like they can get in the end zone on Shiloh with 2:14 left, and the Saints are down 55-23. And many folks, Mike, tomorrow, quite honestly, will see the paper and think it's a typo till they read the story.
Yeah, they're turning the tables on it. Usually Shiloh gets to around 40 points, and they start to shut it down as it looks like the Saints come in. Who was that? Chris Hill came in and blocked the extra point attempt. So 55-23 is where we're going to stick at here, as the Saints are going to go ahead and take over after the kickoff here. We take a look at the replay, and you can see Flowers as well as Emmert were just not out in that area, Austin.
Excuse me,
you're absolutely right. That was John Bodenstein out there. Just not close enough. They got trapped to the inside. Pulaski's got a very effective offense. They've got some new twists that we did not see this past year.
You're exactly right, Mike. They have, and really a lot of stuff that we are used to seeing with Shiloh. Not quite all of the complete razzle-dazzles, but I read from last week's game, they let Landers run a guard around for about a 12-yard pickup, and in the next play they scored. And that is something when you're feeling your oats. You can do no wrong, and there's a lot of that stuff that we've come used to Shiloh doing. They're not going to come out there and win too many track meets. They have to outsmart and out-think the guys on the field, and for the most part we've seen that, but we've seen PA execution, execution, execution. And once again, Mike, you can look at where they've started the ball. Their best field position's been the 50. The rest of the time, they've been around the 20, 30, 35-yard line of their own starting.
Here's the kickoff. Drew Tucker takes on about the 10.
Starburst again. They're going to go around the right side, and there's going to be a flag in the backfield. And that's got to probably be a block in the back or a clip or something like that on Shiloh, some form of holding usually.
Yep.
And it's going to be block in the back against Shiloh. So now instead of getting it around the 17, 18-yard line their own, they're going to be pushed back half the distance of the goal line. That's spotted at the 13. Bad field position again for Shiloh. We will see what the Saints are going to try and do here, Michael. Very interesting. They've never been in this position since we have broadcast the games. 2:08 left to play, third quarter. Pulaski Academy leading 55-23 right now. And Shiloh, after another penalty, they are going to have the ball inside their own 10 to start with. And speaking of 10, Rhett Lashley, who wears it on his back, is going to come back for these Shiloh Saints. And, Mike, he has played a very good game, all things considered.
Well, he really has. Rhett Lashley has done his job, Austin, short of
literally
one
carrying
interception that was in the breadbasket and then a fumble. He has brought them down to a score every time.
Lashley looking out left side. It's to Drew Tucker. Drew Tucker tries to pick up a block or two. Shiloh doing a lot of West Coast offense this year and picks up 3 or 4 that time by Drew Tucker. Shiloh's had some success going deep tonight, actually, and the first time we've seen those plays with Shiloh in these first 3 games. Most everything has been from the first down markers and in.
Yeah, that's right.
So 2nd and 4 for Shiloh Christian at their own 14. Clock rolls under 1 minute, 40 seconds here in the third quarter. Lashley, they're coming from the left side. Now he's going to be pressured again. Throws across his body to Drew Tucker, who catches that perfectly with his hands, pulls it into the breadbasket. Another first down for Shiloh. Ball at the 28-yard line their own, and Shiloh's starting to pick it up. And Mike, maybe Rhett Lashley maybe just wanting it more all of a sudden. We'll obviously see more of that next week, and it'll be interesting to see his progress of his shoulder, but he's looking good right now. Trips to the short side of the field, and the Saints will have 2 on the other side. Lashley pumps right. Time. Pocket collapses. Steps out of it. He's got Schisler deep. Now he goes across. He's going to try and throw it to Sellers, and then to Tucker, and then it's almost picked off. Looked like he had Schisler, but Mike, he's got better sight than I do. There's a little thin barrier in between 2 windows, and in between that I couldn't see, a guy by the name of Jones. Lashley saw him, and he knew better than to throw towards Schisler. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for Shiloh.
Yeah, Jones was back there waiting to break on the ball, Austin. And when you're throwing on a full sprint like that, you're not going to get a lot of zip on it. Usually those are wounded ducks, and they float.
Indeed, and the wind is swirling a little tonight. Lashley over the top, complete. Left flat, 5 yards, 6 yards. Golly, look at Drew Tucker going. Bear crawling his way near first down yardage. There is a flag down.
Maybe a face mask on that play because I can't see what else. Savage was there, but he didn't have anybody that he was engaging.
Could it be a hold?
I think that's got to be a face mask.
Let's hope so.
Savage really didn't touch anybody down there.
Indeed, Michael, good call, and Shiloh Christian says they're appreciative. And let's see if it's the 5 or 15-yard. Being in the heat of the battle there, they might give them 15, Michael.
Yeah, it didn't seem real well. It's
not 5. They're only giving them an inverted.
But they had just about had the first down there regardless, Austin, on about their 42-yard line.
And, Michael, here's the thing. If Shiloh scores, PA can keep trying to go at this thing, and it's still 1:07 left to play in the third quarter. Yeah. Pulaski leading 55-23, Shiloh first and 10 at their own 42. Quick out, left side, Drew Tucker. He's become the target of choice on this series. A pickup of 7 yards. He nears midfield. Clock rolls under 50.
Well, they're sending Savage down there, and that time it was Tucker, and Savage goes about 3 yards deeper. Tucker cuts in behind him, and it's open. Great timing pattern from Lashley. However, you're using up time, and you're not moving the sticks.
Shiloh not getting the play in as smoothly right now. Schisler finally gets it, and he's going to take his mark there wide right. Lashley rolling right. He's got one man open in Sellers. He throws the floater into double coverage. This could be picked off. Sellers almost comes down with it. Wisely, though, Michael, and I've seen some good reads by Lashley tonight. He threw into double coverage, but to the out-of-bounds side of Sellers. If Sellers didn't come down with it, even if it was intercepted, it was going to be out of bounds. Good play.
That's exactly right, Austin. It was a good pass by Lashley on the full run, but he's getting chased a little bit from the pocket. You know, Pulaski seems to be picking the right spot to put pressure on Lashley, because when they don't, these receivers know how to come back. They'll find the soft spot, and Lashley will drill it.
Trips to the left side, and the ball is marked on that left hash. Over the middle, it goes away, and that should be pass interference, and it is. The ball is intercepted, but Schisler was hit well before the ball got there, and Mike P.A. has been guilty of that 3 times tonight. And the initial call is interception, but that is going to be pass interference against Pulaski Academy. Shiloh fans and coaches don't even get too worried about this. Schisler comes up a little gingerly, Mike, as he was hitting the small of the back there.
Yeah, well, Schisler, you know, he banged his knee up really on a late hit in that win game, and then talking this past week with him, his hip is now bothering him a little bit from that Springdale game. So, you know, he's kind of the walking wounded out there.
20 seconds left here in the third quarter. Pulaski Academy leading right now, 55-23, and Shiloh Christian looking for their first win of the season and first win in their last 4 games. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Saints. Ball at the 37-yard line of PA. Trips to the right side this time. The release pass to Sellers. It looked like he got face masked. Turned around a little bit with his head, but he's going to pick up about 7 yards, and it'll move Shiloh Christian inside the 35 of Pulaski Academy, marked at the 32, an exact pickup of 5 yards, and that'll end the third quarter from the Field of Champions. Your signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week's got only one more quarter in it at the Field of Champions. Pulaski Academy leading right now by the score of 55-23. We'll be back in just a moment. Three seconds. And back at the Field of Champions, Austin Bivens along with Mike Morgan. We are set to go for the fourth quarter of the signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week. Shiloh Christian 2nd and 4 at the Pulaski Academy 32-yard line. Trips in the left side. Picking up a good block is Rhett Lashley there in the back by Heath Thomas.
There he's got
Lashley's got a man. It's Luke Emmert. He catches it. Touchdown. A PA guy had it in his hand. He turns around and falls, Mike, and as he's falling, he literally handed it to Luke Emmert. Touchdown, Shiloh. What a weird play, Mike. Shiloh needed something like that, though. 32 yards out, and the sophomore scores. Rhett Lashley marches him.
It was underthrown for Emmert and overthrown for the defender. It topped off his hands as he turned around. And he was there. What a great catch. Great concentration by Luke Emmert just to hang in there, stay with the play.
And Shiloh Christian going to go for 2 on this time, Mike, and we'll wait and see. Shiloh Christian attempts the onside kick here in a moment. Sellers in motion from right to left. Lashley not going to do any running this time. He's looking. He's going to have to get rid of it. Does just in time, and he's picked off in the end zone. That doesn't count against his stats as far as an interception, though.
Nope.
And so the 2-point conversion fails, and with 11:50 left in this ball game, it is 55-29 in favor of Pulaski Academy. And, Michael, we've seen a lot of points scored here at the Field of Champions. I don't know we've ever seen a combined of almost 90-100, or not least in a long time.
Well, by the time this evening's over, Austin, I wouldn't be surprised if we get up there. 55-29. Shiloh still down here by a substantial number. Let's go ahead and get the calculator on it as we've 26 points. but they keep working it back down, but then it seems to kind of drift back up to 32.
Michael, impressively for Shiloh Christian, their scoring drives have consisted of 80 yards, 65 yards, 73 yards, and this last one, 92 yards. Remember, they took over at their own 8-yard line. In 2 minutes and 18 seconds, they traveled 92 yards in 7 plays, and it was Lashley to Emmert from 32 yards out. Michael, Shiloh has had good luck with the home run ball tonight, and something we haven't seen in the repertoire early this season. It's worked tonight.
Well, they're going to have to either make a stop or get some trickery here. Here's the onside kick.
Onside kick, and it's going to be recovered well by Miller. And so Pulaski Academy will get it in good field position around the 47. Michael, we've seen this defense play pretty well last week. At times they played pretty well in the first week, but Shiloh Christian's defense has struggled so far tonight.
Yeah, the big play has really taken Shiloh out of this football game, and they're just unfortunately going to run out of time. You know, you think if Lashley had started the game early on, you know, heck, if Lashley had played the second half of the Springdale game, they may be riding a winning streak.
In the 5 years we've covered them, 4 years, Michael, going on 5, we've seen Shiloh burned on long plays on the ground, not too many by hair. This is the first time they've had to kind of take a dose of their own medicine, if you will. 11:48 left to play in this game. 1st and 10 for the Bruins at their own 47-yard line. One back formation. They're going to get to keep passing this ball since Shiloh's getting closer. Thrash throws the long ball. He throws incomplete, and it is almost picked off by Shiloh Christian's Kyle Casto, the 5'10 senior, intended for Jones, and he just turned Jones around, Michael. It was over his right shoulder. Jones looked over his left, and you usually just can't regroup.
But
with
he was deep on Jones, and that's one of the few times that we see a flag on the play on back here on about the 40-yard line, usually indicating holding. But he was a couple of feet deeper than Jones was, and Shiloh has not been in that position too many times tonight.
And Michael, Shiloh Christian trailing right now by, 26 points?
Holding.
It is holding against Pulaski Academy. 26 points, and you think, hey, 26, Shiloh puts 26 points up all the time. But once it's the fourth quarter and you're getting it on scoring increments of 6, 7, or 8 yards, man, that's quite a bit to ask for.
Well, with a wide open offense here, you expect to maybe score once or twice more. However, as you said earlier, Pulaski Academy's throwing the ball up too, which is not eating into the clock, giving Shiloh a little bit more time.
But their defense is going to have to make a couple of stops or turnover. Shiloh, they released his PA's line. It bounces, and he is down. And a mental mistake that time by the PA receiver grabbing a knee in the backfield to make a catch. And that's just something you usually don't much think about. But going down to get the ball in the backfield, so that's going to be a loss of about 10 yards for Miller. But really, folks, can't say much bad about Blake Miller. He's not done much wrong, the junior.
I got him down here for I guess 3 touchdowns here in this football game. That's a pretty good night.
Quads to the right side this time for the Bruins, and that's the short side of the field, but they're going to isolate Jones out wide left, and Drew Samuelson's on him. The quick pass out to the right side is going to be the double pass. Looking to throw. Does he have a man? And is that a flag? And, oh, they're going to throw a flag on Shiloh Christian Schisler as he hits Quentin Jones in the back when he was going for it. And, Michael, I didn't see the play quick enough, but there has been a lot of pass interference calls tonight. That one against Shiloh, and that'll move the chains, automatic first down.
Well, both officials called it. It looked like we're both running into each other. However, that's going to go against Schisler 99% of the time.
Yeah, kind of the tie goes to the runner. The offensive guy always gets the benefit. The refs are going to talk it over, but I don't believe there should be a whole lot to consider.
There's some discussion. I think both officials may be calling 2 different ways. One may be calling offense, one may be calling defense.
We're about to see. Take it field side, and it's going to be against Shiloh. The St. players kind of throwing their arms up, and they're going to have to remain calm, Michael, something that they don't want to look to as any excuse. They want to just get back out there and play. No, that's difficult, though, at a stage like this with 11:29 left to play in the game, trailing 29-55.
Still does not give them the first down, although they replay it now. So, well, yes, it does. That's an automatic first down.
Because you couldn't say that the guy couldn't have ran further. So it's always an automatic.
Yep, you're exactly right.
15
first
yards,
down
but it's always automatic.
Shiloh, or in their own, just short of their own 45-yard line, 11:29.
11:29 indeed, Mike. 1st and 10 for the Bruins at their own 44. They lead 55-29. Thrash and deep shotgun about 7 yards off the line. One back formation, trips to the left side. Iso and Jones, they fake to Green in the backfield. It's going to be Thrash, and I think he's just trying to run a little bit of time off the clock, maybe Mike,
right.
get that clock to rolling again as he just dives back to the line of scrimmage, almost taking a knee, if you will. It'll bring up 2nd and 10, but they're going to huddle up now. Will PA, I would think, as a play clock, now the refs set the ball, and the play clock just gets going, and I believe Coach Kirby Norwood, who has a 68-24 record at Pulaski Academy, knows a thing or two about winning. He's going to milk that clock a little, and it is down to 10 seconds. Thrash in shotgun. Yes, he looks back at it again. He's going to let it at least go to 5. And we'll see what they do. They're going to pass this time, try and keep their guys in bounds. And Shiloh Christian's Drew Samuelson pushes him out of bounds, but it's to Miller, and that is a completion. And again, Miller helps his team move the chains. First down for the Bruins at the Shiloh 45-yard line, but the play clock, game clock stops.
Yeah, Miller was wide open there, Austin, over in the left flat, and there was nobody out there. Caught
and it's
going to
be called
yards.
back, Michael. There was a flag down. It's going to be holding, it looks like, at the line of scrimmage. Well, folks, join us again next week on your favorite outlet of choice, as it is holding against Pulaski Academy, and they'll assess the yardage. Mike and I will be here. We hope you will be as well back at the Field of Champions. You can join us on 92.1 KKEG for the signed, sealed, delivered game of the week, which will start conference play. The Saints will welcome into town their first 2A opponent of the young season, the Pea Ridge Blackhawks. And Mike, Pea Ridge, one of the better teams in the 2A conference this year under the new head coach that coached Hector when Shiloh won their first championship in '98. It's going to be that direct snap again. I don't think Thrash has handed the ball off twice, and they're probably going to have 15 running plays by the end of the game, will the Bruins.
Well, they figure, obviously they're way back now. It's 3rd down and about almost 20 yards to go.
You're right.
But, the numbers are working against you. Matter of fact, running 2.5 minutes off the clock is probably better than scoring at this point.
Shiloh Christian struggling tonight, to say the least, as the game clock rolls under 10 minutes. And the Saints trail 55-29. It's 3rd and 20 for the Bruins. Ball at their own 20, but they're running quads to the right side, Mike. They want to get this first down. Play clock down to 1. They'll just get it off. Thrash looking, plenty of time. The line breaks down. Scotty Shepard gives chase. He hits just as he throws. Complete first down. Oh, my goodness. That is the story of the night. Shiloh's defense picked apart at the 40-yard line of the Saints, and that is, you said his name, Campbell, who got the first touchdown. The first touchdown of the night, or the second, and the second, actually. Jones had the first one, the spectacular 73-yarder, but they bail him out again, and there's another flag down, and it's going to be face mask against Shiloh, an insult to injury for Shiloh, and that's probably going to be the 15-yard variety, knowing the Saints tonight.
Must have been on the interior line, because Scotty Shepard was maybe a half a foot short of hitting Thrash's arm as he cocked it back there. He almost got a piece of that. 15
yards, Mike. It goes from the 40 of Shiloh to their own 25. So the Saints will give it to the Bruins. And, Michael, I can see PA punching another one in here. I think they would love to get 60 on Shiloh.
Well,
and
they're probably going to do it, Austin, as Shiloh continues to make mistakes. However, mistake at this point in the game, you're taking chances. You're trying to do anything you can to get the football back, because you can't afford to let them run off, 30, 45 seconds every down. You've got to get the football.
Wow, 9:31 left to play in this game. Thrash still in. You got to ask for how much longer. His little brother's just a sophomore and is the second-string quarterback. He's liable to get to come in for long. Clock starts to roll after the penalty. Play clock down to 5 seconds, down to 4. Thrash is just going to get it off. Looking to throw. They're going to try and score on this thing indeed. And it's another curl route, left sideline, and a pickup of 12 yards, complete to Bradshaw again. He's got a couple of receptions on the night. And PA is trying to prove a point here, Mike. If they can get 60 on Shiloh, they think maybe that says a lot to the rest of the state to look out for the Bruins. If the Bruins are as good as they're playing tonight, folks, they're 3A champs. They look that good.
Yeah,
I think a lot
impressive.
of that, though, is lack of motive by Shiloh, but I'm telling you, don't take anything away. Don't think we're throwing a pity party for the Saints up here. Pulaski Academy has earned their touchdowns, marching at least 50, 60 yards on every possession. Thrash and company going to go out of twins this time. 1st and 10 at the Shiloh 15-yard line. 8:40, clock is rolling. Shiloh showing blitz. Thrash looking right. He's got a man come back, complete at the 10, at the 5, pushed out of bounds. And I got to wait and get that number. Will Flowers is going to do the pushing, and he'll take, I guess that's Miller again. When in doubt, you go to Miller. And Miller has really done a great job of keeping Pulaski Academy bailed out when it was third, even fourth and long.
Well, he's got great hands, Austin, and he's a possession receiver. He finds the open spot. You get it anywhere around him, and he's going to hold on to the football. Then he's been able to pick up some good downfield blocking. What a difference he has made tonight for Pulaski. They've had a number of receivers: Hilburn, Miller, Campbell.
2nd and 4 at the 4. So it's 2nd and goal. There's no chains in front. Thrash rolling left. He's got a man open in the back. Chris Hill gives chase. Touchdown Bruins. Again to Quentin Jones. And the PA side is loving this. They're beating Shiloh as bad as they want to. They're taking every chance they get, Michael. This is the end of the series, so it's not like Shiloh can keep this on memory and try and play next year unless these two coaches can agree to another 2-year series. Shiloh Christian is going to have a bad taste in their mouth, folks, and a wake-up call, if there ever was one, to Shiloh Christian. They are down 61-29. Earth to Shiloh. They're going to have to get ready, Michael.
Well, you could almost say, Austin, that they're kind of running it up at this point, and there's going to be some emotions going on anytime you lose a football game, more or less losing it to this nature. Such a big score here.
And we can't, I can't see it up here, Michael, but I know we're taking the replay there with Family 45, and they're just getting a lot of space there, Mike, in the Shiloh secondary.
Shiloh is absolutely worn out, Austin. They are unable to keep up with it. They know the game's out of reach at this point, and Pulaski Academy continues to put it on them. We thought they were going to start running the football, and they did a few plays. Then they just go right back to the air. Some shallow mistakes, some penalties helped them march it down the football field. But they wanted that score.
Michael, a lot of times you'll see this in a basketball game. Which coach is going to put his subs in first, and then you'll see the coach that's maybe leading go ahead. And a lot of times it is like that. It takes the guy from behind to almost wave the white handkerchief and say, okay, I'm putting in my second string. It'll be interesting to see what Chris Wood does at this stage. With 8:24, folks, there's still a lot of time. Not enough probably for a Shiloh comeback, trailing right now 33 points, but 8:24 left in this fourth quarter. Shiloh's going to either need to start running it or PA, and Mike, quite frankly, I'd be a little nervous to see what PA does on their next possession. And I don't know if it was this coach or not, but I've heard in the past they like to put some points up, so it'll be interesting to see. Shiloh Christian, a return by Naylor, the 5'7" sophomore. He'll get a couple of yards before he is knocked to the grass, and Shiloh Christian will send in Lashley still. So Chris Wood is going to stay with Lashley, and one of the refs is having a word with Chris Wood.
Well, I don't know if Chris Wood thought maybe there was a face mask penalty on that, as Norwood went down pretty quick, but it looked like he had the back of the helmet. Things getting a little testy down there on the Shiloh sideline. I'm sure they'll keep their composure and keep their character.
Well, it'll be first time that fans across Northwest Arkansas have been able to see if Shiloh can indeed keep their character, Mike, at a time like this. Some would say it's easy. Some would say it's easy to win. Well, we'll see. I believe these guys have the character, though, Mike, that you're talking about. Rhett Lashley sure has proven it tonight. He looks, nothing's there. He's got Drew Tucker open now. It's improvised. It's improv at the Field of Champions, and Drew Tucker just can't come up with something as he and Lashley try and connect. Mike, the defense for Pulaski Academy, we've talked all offense, but their defense has done all they needed to do with a lackluster offense from Shiloh tonight.
Yep, they have at times, rushed everybody, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, forced him out of the pocket, but they've had very good coverage here. On the other hand, Lashley's been very effective since he's been in here. Shiloh just was a
Lashley looking, Mike. He is rolling. He's pressured. He's going to have to throw. He just gets rid of it, and it's going to be coming back to it is Drew Tucker. Did he come up with that? They say yes. Drew Tucker comes up with it.
Now
he's going to be waved
yes,
off.
The other one says no, but the one who said no was in a position
yes,
to make
he was.
the call.
The ref at the very back, Michael, he called that his back was, Drew Tucker's back was to him, and you're right. That was a good teamwork by the officiating crew to overrule that one.
Well, it looks like a number of streaks are going to come to an end, Austin. Of course, the last game, the championship game last year, saw Shiloh's 3-year unbeaten streak come to an end, the state's longest winning streak. Game 1 this year was, of course, a tie. Game 2 was the state's longest regular season undefeated winning streak. And, of course, now at home, Shiloh has not lost in 5 years at home here.
Back to McCrory back in 1996, Michael, week number 10. Shiloh Christian lost to McCrory, and then in 97 went to McCrory and really put it on the Jaguars. And that was our first year covering them, and the Saints really had, that's when they were a surprise to everyone because they had the new offense. And really now, Michael, this kind of offense is not a surprise. You take Ryzen. Last year, their coach just said, we went to 7-on-7 not to win. We went to learn how to defend the pass offense. Lashley goes long. He has got a streaking post-pattern bound Mike Sellers incomplete, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Shiloh. Ball at their own 33. 7:35 left to play in this fourth quarter that the Bruins lead 62-29. Well, you see it a lot of times in like the NBA Finals when a team will get beat, just blown out, and you'll think, there's no way they could win. Then they'll turn around the next night and win by 20 points. Let's see what this does to Shiloh Christian, who have not taken this kind of defeat, Mike, even back in the 96 season. You're going to have to go back a couple of years to see one like this, many years. Lashley rolling back, sets, throws, complete to Luke Emmert, who's had a pretty nice game tonight at the first down sticks, about 11-yard gain. It'll move the chains. 1st and 10 for Shiloh. Ball will be spotted on the 44-yard line of the Saints. 7:29 now, and the clock will roll when they set the ball.
Once again, Austin, just a beautiful pass by Rhett Lashley. Great
He's
job by
good,
the offensive line. He's throwing a very, very nice ball tonight.
Maybe they should have went with him the whole time, Mike. You just sometimes, though, I mean, the doctors, no one wanted him playing. Open again, Schisler. Deep crossing route. He was left all alone in a good downfield block by Drew Tucker, and Schisler is going to get it to the 26-yard line. It's going to be a pickup, Mike, of around 35, 40 yards. And, Mike, once again, the deep ball has been open. It's these little short flare route, 4 and 5 yards, that's got Shiloh 4 and 5 yards.
Yep. Well, Schisler found a wide open spot. There was nobody within 10 yards of him, Austin, so that was some broken coverage back there. But a great pass by Lashley.
The sign still delivered. Game of the week. Now only 7 minutes, 8 seconds left in it. Clock is rolling. Lashley and team 1st and 10 at the Bruin 31. Lashley across the middle. He's going to be complete to Schisler.
Again.
And Schisler, though, takes a hard hit. And Hilburn kind of just gets up and stares him down. Hilburn's played a great game. A hard hit that time. Shiloh will move the chains. But, Mike, only thing about this, Saints score, the Bruins are going to get another chance at it, and they're going to try. I mean, they could get near 70 before it's over. Shiloh keeps scoring. 1st and 10 for the Saints at the PA 15. 6:57 left. They spot the ball and say roll the clock. Quads to the left side for Shiloh. No backs. Lashley pumps once, throws the floater across the, just I think, tipped at the end, yes, Michael, by Hilburn. Intended for Sellers, and he had Sellers, but the tip threw it just off enough, Mike, and went behind Sellers.
Well, you could see, Lashley's so great about reading defenses, and he's got so much experience, and he looked like he was going to whip that ball, then he checked on it and tried to feather it in there because that was the only way he was going to get a completion, and still almost got it.
Signed, still delivered game of the week. Austin Bivens, along with Mike Morgan, will have another one next Friday night. Here at the Field of Champions, Shiloh going to run trips to the left side. Ball spotted on the right hash mark. Lashley looks, sets, 3-step drop. He's going to have to step up in the pocket, and he's going to be taken down. Quarterback sack courtesy of Luke Porter. Luke Porter, just a 10th grader, Mike. I've been impressed by the roster with Pulaski Academy, and while Thrash will be gone, his younger brother will probably start next year. Haven't got a look at him, but PA will not be a slouch next year, though if they're going to go for it, I think this is one of their better years with none other than just Quentin Jones.
Yeah, Quentin Jones, and of course you've got a senior quarterback, which can take you a long way in the playoffs.
Well, Mike, and we've seen that, though, with the Cole McNairs and Shane Williams. One real good receiver can get everyone else on single coverage and even less.
That's right.
Lashley, all kinds of trouble, steps through the pocket, fumbles, picks it up, now throws. If he gets a touchdown on that, it's going to be an interception. Nope, knocked away at the last. Falls incomplete. Should have been picked off in the end zone, but credit Rhett Lashley for just
I don't know how he got out of there. He
Houdini.
was trapped back there, and then he managed to just squirt out. Somebody knocked the ball out. It bounced on the ground like a basketball, picked it up, and then still got it into the end zone. Could have been picked off. 4th down.
4th down and 13 for Shiloh at the 19. Lashley going to Wood for the offensive play. Of course, Shiloh's going to go for it right here. It'll be interesting to see what Pulaski Academy does if Shiloh doesn't make this 1st down, offensively speaking anyway. Quads to the left side for Lashley and company. Lashley looking, plenty of time across the middle. It's going to be incomplete, thrown at the feet of Yates.
Just tipped.
He can't come up with it. Knocked away at the line, I guess,
yeah,
Michael.
No, just number 40, Hillard. Hilburn came in just at the last second, knocked it straight down. That was the only place Lashley could have gone with it.
Well, let's see, folks. 5:55 left to play in this game, and let's just see what Pulaski Academy decides to do here.
Well, you'd think they'd just run and sit on the ball, but if they get to a third or fourth down, second and long or third down, I wouldn't be surprised they put it up in the air. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this pass again. You can see just at the last second it's knocked down. Hilburn just looked like he got a finger on it.
5:55 left to play, and there's going to be a timeout. We need to take one as well. With 5:55 left in the ball game, you're listening and watching the Signed, Sealed, Delivered Game of the Week. Back after this.
Games.
Yeah, one or two.
Could be since 95.
Okay, let's come on back in 5. And back at Family 45, and Mike, you and I just talking. Back on KKEG as well. Getting set to go, a little screen pass out around the left side for Pulaski Academy, and Shiloh's going to dogpile him up. But at this stage, Shiloh Christian would be just real happy, if you can even use that word to describe anything about Shiloh tonight, just to get this game over. Last time the Saints were defeated at home, Mike, was the 1996 final regular season game, Week 10, against the McCrory Jaguars, and then Shiloh in 97 finished out that 2-year series by beating the Jags at home. You remember that long drive over there to near eastern Arkansas? That was the year we went to Kansas, went to Gurdon, saw the train at Gurdon or whatever that was in the stands, and they're still going to pass. Is Thrash, and I don't know how that'll set, Michael. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this. One thing Shiloh has never done, you're going to say, well, they'd score 40 at halftime. If the Saints were up 40-6, 40-7, that was it.
That was it. First team was out. They let the JV team come in there and basically kind of mop up. But they, at that point, Austin even kept it on the ground. But Pulaski Academy continues to go at it a little bit. They've got their number one offense in there. They're running out of the shotgun, and they're throwing the football.
And would Coach Norwood do this if this was the first year in the 2-year series and he thought he had another chance to have to play Shiloh? Be interesting. 4:33, clock is rolling. They will let the play clock go down a little bit. It's going to be a direct snap to Green. And maybe Norwood is just playing the numbers game. I think he's going to have to get Mike inside 2 minutes with a first down, and then he can take 3 knees, and get out of here.
Well, he's got it there, and Green, what a quick first step. You know, it looked like John Coy had him, and he just made one quick burst to the inside, and he was just disappeared.
Be sure after regulation, come back. We'll have your post-game wrap, and on Family 45, we'll take the Signed, Sealed, Delivered Game of the Week down to the Field of Champions and get a field-side view of this very difficult game for Shiloh Christian. Going to move to 0-2-1, and very few folks would have thought that. Shiloh Christian, good stick at the last minute. It looks like it could be...
that was Robert Mailer.
It was, Mike. Mailer with the nailer, but it's going to be about a 3-yard gain for PA. They're going to keep it on the ground here now, and that is good to see as far as with Coach Norwood leading 62-29. There's only so much you want to do at someone else's home.
Take the win and get out of town, Austin, as they have put it on the Saints here tonight.
Shiloh won last year 35-7 and pulled their starters midway in the fourth quarter when it was out of reach. Thrash looking to pass again. He's heavily pressured, and he's going to throw and kill the clock. Good hustle that time by Mike Yates, but the ball sails out of bounds. He can't seem to pick it off. 3:23 left to play in this ball game. The Pulaski Academy leads 62-29, and
they're still
Quentin
Jones
deep.
I mean, he's going deep down there. I don't know whether it seems like the players are not as into maybe completing a deep pattern and scoring again, but the coach is sure calling a wide-open offense at this point.
Well, Coach Norwood and his Bruins couldn't have drawn it up any better. Come to the Field of Champions, come to Springdale, and not only win, but win by 33. Might get worse as they're back to pass again. Brian Lee gives chase to Thrash, throw across the middle to Jones, and another first down. And I'm waiting to hear if any boos come out. And they haven't. And I guess some sportsmanship being shown by the Shiloh fans, because if I were out there, I'd have a little difficulty with that, Mike. A spade is a spade, and this is getting close. Been a little much.
Yeah, a little bit different philosophy from Coach Kirby Norwood, and they're continuing to pile it on the Saints here. I think at this point they're just working on statistics, trying to roll up statistics. I don't know how many yards he's passed for. I'm sure he's well over 400 yards at this point, Austin, and I don't know how many touchdown passes. We stopped keeping track of the stats here about midway through the third quarter.
A lot of folks are going to enjoy this game, Mike, that have taken a beating with Shiloh Christian, and any time you score 35 points or more, someone's going to say you've run the score up, so maybe folks are going to say that. Obviously, we know better because we know the class that we've seen with Shiloh and their coaching staffs. But a lot of folks around the state are going to enjoy hearing this. Anytime you're the top dog, Shiloh Christian's going to move to 0-2-1 on the 2001 season. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in this game of the week, and the clock is still rolling. Pulaski Academy is letting the clock roll down, and they've got it 2nd and 8 at their own 49. One more first down, and that'll end the game. And it's close to ending it right now, but Mike, he's in a no-back trips formation again, is Thrash. Inside handoff this time, shovel pass maybe. Wondering if he's going to stay in bounds. He does. No, penetrates the Shiloh 45.
10 yards, and that's actually considered a passing play. But, you know, Austin, now Shiloh is going to go back to their 2A conference schedule through the remainder of this year. They've got one non-conference game, and that's, of course, Charleston in week 9, I believe, isn't it?
It is week 9, and, hey, the Tigers
next year
are always good.
Due to classification kind of resets, you know, private schools, you can no longer consider one student for one student. And a private school now, the new classification is 1.35. So with that multiplier, that moves Shiloh up to the 3A, and they're going to be competing for a state championship with these same Bruins next year.
That's right. The Bruins in 3A, but not by a whole lot, I don't think. There's going to be a timeout. He doesn't get it in time, and it'll be a delay of game charge. Nope, they're going to say the timeout.
Well, they could be, if they're barely at the 3A level right now, Austin.
We'll keep it right here,
folks. They
will
probably remain at the 3A level next year. But, see, they're going to have to deal with the same multiplier as Shiloh is. It's going to be 1.35 per student. And, of course, the public schools, it's 1 for 1.
Well, but what I was saying,
they could move up to 4A.
Well, that's what I was saying. Pulaski Academy, obviously a bigger school already since they're in the 3A. As you'll look at, wonder what's going through that guy's mind on television side right now, Michael, is Rhett Lashley, literally, hats off to you, young man. Left it literally all out there. Didn't even play in the first quarter. Wasn't supposed to play. And, Mike, we could see him from up here. Something we didn't have an advantage of last week is seeing what was going on the sidelines. We didn't even know he was hurt because he was still playing defense. But he was just practically jumping on Coach Wood's back down there in the first quarter, begging to get to play. But, Mike, by the end of the first quarter, it was already 14-0. And by the time he got in the game, it was already 21 or 28-0. And it was near out of reach at that time.
28, I believe, Austin. But he brought him back immediately for a score, and then a turnover, and then a field goal at the end of the first half. And, you know, Rhett Lashley did his job, Austin. Well, the rest of the ball club did not.
The Bruins back out and to go. And, Mike, we've mentioned Shiloh 2 games in 1 week to Springdale, the emotional high and that kind of deal. Folks, we don't want to take anything away from Pulaski Academy. They are a very good team, and pay notice to them this year. They could go a long way. Quarterback sneak is going to get the first down on 3rd and less than 1, and that will respot the chains. Pulaski Academy will have to take 2 knees and will stroll out of Springdale and the Field of Champions with one of the biggest wins in their program, Michael. They've never been to a state final, and so this is one of the biggest wins they have ever had. They are going to beat Shiloh Christian at the Field of Champions 62-29. And I don't believe it'll get any worse than that. As Thrash and company, as the clock is rolling, he'll only have to take probably 2 more knees, maybe just 1, depending on how long it takes to spot the ball. And the Saints are going to still be winless in their last 4 games, dating back. Last victory was to Charleston back in the semifinals, Michael, at Tiger Stadium.
Lost in overtime in the state championship game to Rison, and now they're calling a timeout.
No delay of game. They let the clock run completely out, Michael, and they'll lose the 5 yards. They don't really mind. They'll snap the ball, take a knee, and they'll probably have to get 2 more plays, and that'll do it.
Yeah, just under 1 minute and 57 seconds to go here, Austin. Very impressive win for the Pulaski Academy Bruins.
Did they not do everything
out of
right?
The Little Rock area. They sure did everything right. Shiloh did not play inspired football, did not play team football. They relied on an individual to try to pick it up and make it happen for them, and they made a lot of mistakes on their own.
Thrash takes a knee. Mike, go back to what you said. That might really sum it up in one word, is inspired. You said they didn't play inspired ball, and I think you might have just nailed it right there. That could have been part of the difference. And I talked to Chad Hooten today on the telephone, and I was telling him they gave Coach Norwood the Gatorade bath. This is a state championship for them, Michael. They just beat a team soundly that hung with a 5A team. They're going to be saying, hey, we could have beat Springdale. Now, you and I probably think different than that, but they're going to walk out of Shiloh Christian with a 33-point victory. They'll have to snap the ball one more time, and then, folks, you're going to see pandemonium with the Bruins. Watch this. That is going to do it. 20 seconds left on the game clock. They're going to respot it, and Pulaski Academy will move to 3-0, and Shiloh Christian better think things through before next Friday, Mike. The game of the week, the signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week, Pulaski Academy beat Shiloh very badly, 62-29. When we come back, we'll have your post-game summary back after this. I hope so. Probably just 1 minute. Tonight's game consisted of two teams playing, but only one showed up. Welcome back to your signed, sealed, and delivered post-game report. Austin Bivens along with Mike Morgan. And, Mike, if the score 62-29 doesn't do it for Shiloh Christian, the Pulaski Academy Bruins hooping and hollering on your home field, celebrating, passing out game balls and accolades, that ought to.
Well, it sure should. They built a 28-0 lead, and they held on anywhere from between 32 and 33 points for most of that football game.
And Michael, the tone was set early on in this ball game when Pulaski Academy received the opening kickoff, and they ran a reverse direct snap. It turned into a reverse, and then they throw a 73-yard bomb to Quentin Jones. That just kind of summarized this game.
Well, they've done many things that Shiloh's done in the past. They came out ready to play right at the get-go tonight. It almost looked like Shiloh wanted to work their way into the football game. Granted, a little bit tired from playing Monday night, a big emotional game against their old coach in Razorback Stadium, but they looked very flat tonight. The only guy that looked sharp was Rhett Lashley, and he just couldn't do it all on his own. It takes a team.
And if any guy had a reason not to look good, it was Rhett Lashley. Here's an interesting stat for you. 3 games so far for Shiloh this year, Mike. 7 points in the first quarter. That's all the Saints have scored. Mike, what's it going to take for a wake-up call if this is not one? What is Shiloh going to have to do to get back in the winning ways? Folks around here are not used to this, especially 33 points.
Well, they're going to have to get a little rest, Austin. They're going to have to get everybody healthy again. They're going to have to get Rhett Lashley healthy again. But they're going to have to play team football, and that's what they haven't done here, I think, these last couple of weeks, is play solid team football. It takes 22 guys on that football field to make a difference. Now they're going to start a new winning streak. 5 years' worth of winning streaks came to an end tonight here at the home field. This is a new ball club. They're going to have to find their own way, and they're going to have to start next week.
Next week indeed, Michael, as it will be these Saints traveling back home right here as they will battle the Pea Ridge Blackhawks. That will be their opening game in 2A conference play. For Mike Morgan, our entire crew that did an excellent job again tonight, so long for your signed, sealed, and delivered game of the week. We'll see you next time here on Family 45.